All right. We ready? So, let me get situated here. It's been a weird morning. Because, why wouldn't it? All right. So, hello. Good morning, everybody. How's your Tuesdays going? How's your Tuesday?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Arc Blue. Hey, 35-month resub. Thank you. So, dudes, today, much better. There you go. Pretty much JDG, yeah. Yeah, Tessa, I don't know, man. I had my qualms with the race, but, it was a fun race. I didn't hate it. I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I'm sorry, I'm just opening the door, get some air in here. I didn't hate it. It was a fun race. And guys, get this. I don't know if you guys saw, but the total amount, the attendance was calculated for CODA. Look at this. A record-breaking 440,000 people attended the USGP in Austin this weekend. That's nearly 200,000 more people than the race saw in 2018 and makes it this year's race the most attended 3-day weekend in Formula One history. I don't like doing speed runs, man, but yeah. I used to do them back in the day, but look at that, man. Anybody that's ever been to CODA knows that this space right here is not a small space. And it is jammed. That's nuts. People say Americans don't like Formula One. It's Drive to Survive. It's Drive to Survive. That's what's doing it. Drive to Survive and first race post-COVID, Audrey, I think. Yeah, flagging. Those are not small grandstands, dude. I've been to CODA. I was at the first CODA race. I was at the first race in 2012. There was not this many people here. You could picnic up here and set up a blanket and stuff, and there'd be probably a couple people within 5 feet of you. That is absolutely, positively jammed, like raspberry. I've never seen that many people at a Formula One race, and I mean, yeah, no, like literally. Is that crazy or what? That's cool. Was just curious. Looking forward to a new career. Well, JDG, let's talk it out, dude. We're gonna talk it out. Yeah. Now I want to see the parking lot. Also, there's a ton of influx into Texas recently. Yeah, I mean, you'll actually appreciate this if you look. Hang on. Ooh, very nice. Joe is just getting his lathe work on. So check this out. You feeling better? Yeah, I'm okay, Chief. I don't know what I got. It was something gnarly, but I should be fine. So here's Austin, right? Check this out. So there's the track, right? There's the track, and check this out. Just a little bit up the street is the Gigafactory. Pretty cool, huh? Southeast Austin is a pretty happening spot, man. There's Austin Bergstrom down there, the airport, which is cool. There's a Gigafactory. There's CODA. It's actually pretty freaking cool, man. Yeah, I'm so happy that there was people there. I love it that people are into Formula One, man. I remember trying to talk about Formula One on the stream in like 2014, right? And all the Europeans were like, "You like Formula One? What? What? How do you know all? You're not supposed to know all this." To like, there's a bunch of Twitch streamers. Everybody knows Formula One now. It's like it's a little weird. I do think the blue-orange flag rule should basically be if a car has a loose flapping part, they must come into the pits immediately. Yeah. You work in McQueenie, Texas, a stone's throw from there. Sweet, man. Elon is building SpaceX Boring and Neuralink offices close to the Gigafactory as well. That's in Bastrop. Probably Texans, correct me if I'm not saying that right. Bastrop? Bastrop? It's over here. Yeah, I know, Tessa. It's nuts, man. Bastrop. Bastrop? So Bastrop, Texas. Got it. One with the bass drop. Yeah, no, they're... Where's he building? It's up here. So it's next to the river. Over here. Here it is. See these plots of land? This guy? SpaceX, Boring Company, and Neuralink, and Tesla all are going to have HQs right here. It's going to be a freaking compound. Bastrop. So you say TRAP and I hear trap. Trap. Like, that's how you'd say it up here. Bastrop. Bastrop. Excuse me. Sorry about that. I don't like burping in the mic. Trying to get out of that habit. Still cool, though. It would be the new kingdom of Elon. Yep. But yeah, pretty cool, guys. Anyway. Oh. Sim. Cool. Super happy for that, guys. Sim's good people. 7 out of 10, good volume, not nearly long enough. That's because I held it in a little bit. All right, so alrighty. Let's talk about Kerbal. I had an idea of playing Kerbal yesterday. Vulcan, but RS-83s instead of BE-4s. Refresh my memory. What's an RS-83? I just saw the latest KSP2 interviews. Are you excited? Elrigate? Yeah. Yeah, that's actually, that's a good way to segue onto this. Let's see. What is this? What's an RS-83? The RS-83 was a rocket engine designed for reusable liquid hydrogen, liquid oxygen rocket, larger and more powerful than any other. The RS-83 was designed to last 100 missions and was intended for use on the first stage of a 2-stage-to-orbit reusable launch vehicle. It was developed by Rocketdyne Propulsion in Canoga Park to power the launch vehicle as part of the space... it's part of SLI. Okay. This engine was designed to produce a thrust of 2,900 kilonewtons at sea level and 3,300 in vacuum with 395 specific impulse, 440 seconds respectively. 446 respectively. That's actually pretty good. RS-68As are actually better than this. Not by much. Yeah, I think... All right, I don't want to read the next paragraph, Creeper. Like, not that this is... I don't want to read the next paragraph, but I'll bet you this technology found its way into the RS-68A. I'm guessing that's what that next paragraph says. Let me see. The RS-83 is loosely based on the RS-68 that powers the Delta IV. The RS-83 is more efficient, lighter, slightly stronger, yet reusable. Ooh. The engine design weighs 12,700 pounds, 5,800 kilos, with a thrust weight of 52. NASA changed its focus to expendable launch systems used in the Constellation program for human space. Ooh. The Constellation program axed that rocket engine. Oh, this is awkward. Eric, will there be pre-orders for KSP 2? Don't know, Chief. I don't know. Did you hear that Aerojet Rocketdyne might get acquired? I think Northrop Grumman is trying to acquire them, S-Master. You planning on playing some multiplayer? Elrigate, it really depends on how multiplayer is implemented, dude. It depends. If it's just an open server and anyone can join, I don't know, man. I don't know if I want to play something like that. What I would want to do is play a multiplayer server with, like maybe one or two other like streamers or something, you know, and go from there. Like it really depends on how multiplayer is implemented. Yeah, Agalex, yeah, the other thing is, yeah, that's a good point. I don't do pre-orders. I don't do pre-orders. Yeah, a regeneratively cooled RS68. Yeah. That's pretty much what an RS25E is at this point. But what about like the Minecraft server? Yeah, it depends, guys. It really depends. Until multiplayer is released over here, building the fleet in KSP2. I'll think about it. It really depends, dude. I don't know. Like, it really... Guys, what I want to do, I don't want to make any plans for KSP2. I really don't. I don't want to make any plans. The reason why I don't want to make any plans is because, dude, I kind of just want to play the game and enjoy it. And we'll find the fun ways to play the game over time. Does that make sense? I don't want to force anything. I don't want to say, oh, I'm going to build launch pads in KSP2 from the start. Everyone knows that's not going to be fun. I know that's not going to be fun, and that's my favorite part, right? Let's just play KSP. Let's just play KSP2 when it comes out. Just play it. Just play the game. That's what I did with KSP1, and then we found awesome ways to do things. You know, it happens. Like, it's just kind of a natural progression. You find ways to do things. And with that being said, no standard comes with no disappointment, so that's a smart thing. I ain't going to be disappointed by KSP2, Elregid, I'll tell you that. With what I saw the other day, I ain't going to be disappointed. I really would like to stop the whole launchpad thing at all, honestly. It's cool, but also when we do that, let's be honest, we never go to space. Yeah, I mean, Blue, yeah, that's fine. You could say that, but you're forgetting one thing. That's what I like doing. I understand. I gotta give content that people want to see. I get it. Dude, I will say it once, I'll say it again. I don't regret building launch pads. And I know it was detrimental to the view count on the stream. I still don't care. The reason why I don't care is because the launch pads gave me an insight into how a space program works that I would never otherwise have gotten. I've had people in the industry, talk to me about the pads that we made and said, these are the problems that we actually have. I have that verbatim from people in the industry, the people that work for companies, you know, like SpaceX, Relativity, RS, who else? ABL. Like I talk to people in the industry a lot. They said that the problems that I was encountering during the launchpad streams, like with a part bending or a part breaking or something, the hydraulics binding up, that is the actual problems that they have with launch pads. So as far as I'm concerned, dude, it gave me insight into the space program that no one else that reports on the space program actually has. I don't regret doing that for years for a second, and I would not trade that experience for much. And once again, this is from people that work actually in the industry, the engineers that actually build this stuff. They said the problems that you were encountering are the exact problems that we have all the time. Something bending, something, you know, not aligning correctly. These are exactly the same problems. You were able to emulate it in Kerbal. And because I was able to emulate it, dude, I'm not going to say that it gave me industry experience, but I understand what these guys are doing a lot more than most. No one can argue that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
So I get it. It wasn't fun. It wasn't fun content to watch. I understand that. But also at the same time, I wouldn't trade the experience. No, not a chance. Twidget, 24-month resub. Thanks, man. Like Dorito. Am I a joke to you? Yeah. This afternoon at MSU, we were having astronaut Jerry Ross as a guest speaker. He flew on 7 shuttle missions. Yep. 7 shuttle missions. Literally foremost expert on extravehicular activities during the shuttle program. Yep. Yeah, I know, King. Some people really dig into that level of detail. That's fine. But once again, I wouldn't trade building all those launch pads, building all those helicopters for anything. I really wouldn't. The part of what makes the stream so good now is the fact that we went on deep dives into that stuff. GSE before, yeah. Mm-hmm. Dude, that's... I wouldn't trade the experience, guys. I wouldn't. I'm sorry. I know it was probably not the most fun to watch. But here's the thing. I know exactly what I know how to manipulate Kerbal in ways that most people don't. Right? Like, I'm not trying to brag. Hear me out. Here's what I'm thinking. Guys, playing... I love doing the coding stuff with Python. I think that's really fun, and I think there's a lot of promise there to make some cool content. However, that Kerbal 2 trailer kind of knocked the screw loose up here, okay? The Kerbal 2 trailer just... You know, that stream that we had on Friday, you know, where everybody... I saw a lot of old faces back, and... You know, it just kind of put me... It just kind of... I'm having trouble kind of saying what I'm thinking. It took me back, man. It took me back to like 2013, 2014, seeing all the old school people in here. All the people that have been in, like, half of the old school viewers have been subbed this entire time. I haven't seen them in years. It kind of took me back a little ways. It took me back, man. And, you know, I love the launch pads. I wouldn't trade that experience ever. You know, like, I could parry that experience for a job. I know I could. If you got me in front of somebody, oh, I know what I'm doing. You know, I could at least get a technician's job if I really, really wanted to, like putting the thing together. I know exactly what to do. Just got to introduce me to the construct of the system. So I wouldn't trade that experience for anything. However, you know, seeing all the old school viewers and seeing everybody kind of come back and seeing people that I haven't seen in years kind of knocked some screws loose. And it just made me realize kind of one thing. I mean, and that's the namesake title for the stream. I just want to play Kerbal. I just want to go back to playing Kerbal. I kind of just want to go back to playing Kerbal the way we played it in 2013, 2014. I think now that we have a release date for KSP 2, you know, February 24th, 2023 is when it goes into early access. You know, these next couple of months, I just want to play KSP. And I want to send out KSP. I want to send out KSP in kind of the same way that we started. Just building awesome stuff and going all over the place. You know, that's what I want to do. Yeah. Damn fly. Get in here. Oh, I almost got him. I tipped his wing. I want to min-miss shipyards. I don't know. Maybe. I'll think about it. I just want to go back to playing KSP the way that I played it circa 2013, 2014, 2015. You know, let's pick 3 launch vehicles that we want and go with it. The vehicles that I wanted to go with are the shuttle, Ares 5 and Ares 1. That's what I want to do. And we will use those vehicles to build crazy stuff in space. No kRPC. No, just regular run-of-the-mill Kerbal play. There'll be time for kRPC in the future. Or there won't. I don't know. Can't promise anything. That's what I want to do. I want to just go and play Kerbal the way I want to go back to where we started, dude. I want to go back to scratch. I think that would be... Yeah, we'll keep the visual mods. Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Career or Sandbox? Sandbox. Just playing the game the way I want to play. You know? That's where I started. I started with Sandbox. My justification for using Sandbox for the longest time was, you know, you have a budget in real life. And a budget, you have to learn to get the budget right. And you can only go so far as you want to. And the idea is that, you know, you have this budget and you know, you're constrained by it. I don't want to do that. I just want to play Kerbal. I'm good, Sawyer. Yeah. That's what I want to do. So is this episode 1? This is kind of the spiel for this new series, Drummer. Yeah. The what could have been. Yeah. Not engineering mode, Chief. I want to revert to playing by Mission Mode 2014 rules. The Mission Mode 2014 rules is basically just build whatever the frick you want. No reverts. No reverts, no quick loading. That's it. That's all I want to do. Yeah. No reverts, no regrets. Same old version. Yeah, that's what I'm planning on doing. 2014 give us grip and it was a good year. Yeah. I want to see what an updated shuttle could do. Can you imagine bringing back that series, J-Speed, and building a new space station with all the alignment stuff that I know about now? Dude, I want to take all the stuff that we learned about alignment and launch pads and build crazy stuff that nobody has ever built before in space. Hey, hope the socks get the couch warm for us. Freaking Astros, am I right, dude? Like, dude, I don't know what to say about that hit, but you guys kind of choked. So, what I want to do is just start a Sandbox save. Start a Sandbox save with quick loads disabled and build. Scratch. The other thing is I want to scratch build everything. So, we want Jebstone 4. Okay, build it. I hate the Astros more than I hate the Yankees. More than I hate Jeter. I'm a Red Sox fan version. I don't hate Derek Jeter. Derek Jeter's cool. I don't mind Judge either. But also, frick the Yankees. I'm happy you lost. You guys sucked. You choked hard. That great season, you freaking choke. Will there be pads? Nah, probably not. Yeah. Do you hear something on your desk that's not thumping? No, I'm doing this. I'm just twiddling my fingers. Take everything you want to unload us because you earned it. I mean, Saurian, I'm tempted to buy you a copy of either Brown's Elements of Spacecraft Design or SMAD to see how much of it you have intuited, learned, or disregard. Cyro, dude, like, look, I'd call myself a spaceflight commentator at this point, but I don't have this book on my desk for no reason. It's not, dude, space is life. It's life for me. It's just, like, I have a fanatical devotion to it. I love it. I can't get enough of it. Even to this day, 10 years in, still can't get enough of it. You know, I could probably figure it out, dude. I'm confident in my abilities. I'm not confident in my abilities to do math. The math stuff is, I'm sure I could figure it out. That would take some time. I went back to school for aerospace and we're doing satellite design this semester. It's work, but it's fun. Yeah, electrical and thermals. Good times. Good times. I realized I want to be an aerospace engineer after I graduated with a master's in chemistry. Dragon, go be a propulsion engineer. Go be a propulsion engineer. You get a job in the industry, dude. No problem. With a master's in chemistry? Dude. Propulsion is something. That's like the bottleneck right now for rockets. Every rocket just has to fire hose out insane amounts of liquid fuel and stuff. You know, need to work on the maths. Yep. Just apply for an aerospace job. See? Novus is right, dude. With a master's of chem, dude, you'll be able to get... that'll take you a lot further than you think, dude. It'll certainly take you further than a bachelor's in computer animation. You know what I'm saying? That'll get you pretty damn far. Dude, I know guys that work in the industry that are aerospace engineers that worked on turbine technology and stuff in college. Like they specialized in turbine design that work on sound suppression systems. You know what I mean? I know guys that worked, you know, on hypersonics that are thermal protection system technicians or engineers now. Like, dude, just apply. Just apply. If you like it, they'll pick up on it. That's something I'm learning. Yeah, just do it. You'll get a job. People are going to see that master's of chem and be like, they won't look at it and be like, oh, we don't need a chemist right now. They'll look at it and say, oh man, Dragoon is smart enough to do a master's of chem. Yeah, he'll be able to do a mechanical engineering job. No problem. That's easy. Like, you see masters of chem and go, ooh, you know, ooh, that's neat. I know a guy who was an Olympic shot put athlete. He works at Spin Launch. Yeah, there you go. There's days I wish I could get my foot in the door for one of these companies here. Goalie, dude, you'd be surprised how much new space companies are looking for people that want to be there. That want to be there. I'm serious. That's 50% of the battle. Easily 50%. Tessa, dude, great minds. Passion for your job improves your chance of application by 50% regardless of qualifications. I 100% agree with you. That 50% of the time, it works every time. Yeah, Dragon, just do it. Just go apply. The only reason, okay, fellas, like, you see these jobs, right? Yeah, exactly. You see these jobs, you know, that are like, oh, minimum 5 years experience, entry-level position. All that is a way to weed out the people that don't want to be there. Because somebody that's just applying for jobs for the sake of applying for jobs is going to look at that and say, oh, I don't have 5 years experience. Man, what the frick? Why do they want 5 years experience for an entry-level position? That makes no sense. Yeah, that's to weed out the people that don't want to be there. Because somebody that really wants that job is going to apply regardless of what it says in the requirements. True story. Goalie, you could easily parry your experience to get a technician's job. Easily. You telling me with your operating experience you couldn't work in the HIF? You couldn't work in Falcon 9's HIF? That's bullcrap. You'd probably work better than most people that are there. Well, maybe SpaceX really is cream of the crop, you know what I'm saying? But yeah. For YouTube, what do you want to call this KSP series? Back to scratch. Back to scratch. Music power. Need to know people to get in. You telling me with all your operating experience in your line of work that you don't know anybody? You don't know anybody that works there? Come on now. So, back to Kerbal. What I want to do, guys, is straight up old school sandbox, no rules except no reverts. That's it. Do it right the first time. That's it. That's okay. Let's just knock over all the soda cans on my desk. That's good. Why do I have empty soda cans on my desk? Yeah. No mulligans. It happens on the first time. You do it on the first try. Guys, actually, that's detrimental to your vehicles, believe it or not. Reloading a quick save is a known way to break things. So if you don't do it right the first time and you revert, and then even if you do it right the second time, quick save breaks your stuff. It breaks your vehicles. It's well known. You needn't look no further than kRPC. Even kRPC doesn't like quick loads. So that's what I want to do, dudes. I want to scratch build a couple of new vehicles. Ares 1, Ares 5, and the shuttle. And I want to spend a month getting these vehicles made. And then after that, we go to town on KSP. We go to town. If a month goes by, the vehicles ain't finished, that's my fault. We'll use what we have and we go from there. Yeah, of course, S. Mm-hmm. All right. That's what I want to do. This is where I want to go. And it's not that I don't like coding or anything. It's just this is what needs to be done. Why does someone buy a $300,000 Aventador only to slap Batman stickers on it like they are 12? Money doesn't buy taste, serious. No, I don't. Guys, I don't need old crafts for reference. I have Collins, Jebstone, and SLS kind of. The design is up here. It's always been up here. That's the best backup. So, yeah. We don't necessarily need to make launch pads. Just... we can maybe make the pad look cool, but superfluous. Just look neat. Like, remember the way that DOS used to do it? Just have something, like, you put the vehicle out, and it looks like a launch pad, it looks like a T, you retract the T, and then you send it? That's what I'm talking about. EJ built this launch vehicle in a cave version. In a cave! Can we do a Grissom launch for old time's sake? Will you have an engineering mode? I don't know. Why buy a 300k Aventador when you can get a Ford GT for an easy mill? I think I want to use engineering mode just in case we want to design something new. So I'll use engineering mode for... Hey, Moose. What's up? I want to use engineering mode for if we need to build a new launch vehicle or something, or test something nuts. But yeah, I really don't want to just become reliant on just using engineering mode. You know? I say do all the testing in mission mode so the tests have stakes. What's the stake of the test other than just sitting there having to clean up all the debris from when a vehicle breaks? You know? Hey, Aerospace. Word. All right. So in here, we've been messing with Gemstone Block 4 right here. Yeah, baby. The good vehicle. We're going to be using Gemstone, but, yeah, I'm going to... I don't know. I mean, Jebstone Block 4 and MLV both have the same stage, like they have the same upper stage and the same payload fairing. I might want to bring MLV in just because we built that thing. I want to use it. Just on a side note. Can you build a 90s F-250 for towing and recovery use? I don't want to go too crazy on the recovery stuff, Jared, to be honest with you. What about Artemis 1? When will it launch? November 14th is when Artemis 1 is ready to go. I think Blue, I think the only design that I want to bring into this new save is MLV, and that's it. I can remake Jebstone 4 in a couple hours. The shuttle is going to be the hard one to redo. I don't really want to make pads. Yeah, I just want to launch stuff and build space stations and stuff. The only real kind of crazy engineering that we're going to see is basically payloads, like what I used to do, back in the day. I used to focus on the payload design, like building an entire space station, right? We would build an entire space station out in here and then break it up and then launch it on the shuttle. Yeah. Yeah. So the stakeholder expectations that I need for this are, we're going to bring MLV in. I'll bring MLV in. That's the only one I won't build from scratch, because building that from scratch with a shuttle and an Ares 5 and Jebstone 4, so Ares 1, is going to be, that's going to be too, it's going to be too much. That's not, I can't get that done in a month. At least I don't think I can. Yeah, guys, I really wanted to sit here and brainstorm this, so I kind of went into this cold turkey. That was entirely on purpose. I want to sit here and brainstorm this with you guys. Like, we don't need to sit there building launch pads the entire time. I'm not going to lie to you. Even if I did want to build launch pads for Jebstone 4 and stuff, it'd be not too hard. That would be easy. Jebstone 4, it's the shuttle in SLS, which would get that to be a little bit difficult. But yeah, yeah, that's what I want to do. I don't really want much stipulations here, guys. I just, no reverts, engineering mode, mission mode, 2014 style. Like, because I think everybody here, I've beaten into their heads how launchpad design works. I want to beat into your heads how landers and space stations work. Yeah. Yeah. And orbital mechanics, and transfer windows, and high delta V transfers, etc., etc. So, all right, guys, that's what I want to do. I think I got this figured out. We're going to start with this engineering mode save that we've been using for kRPC. And we're gonna go from there. Let me get some tunage up here. Yeah, there we go. All right. Farway, gold follower here. I love this. Yep. I think this is a great way to send off KSP 1 before KSP 2 starts. We will finish out KSP 1 exactly where we started. I'm going to be honest, pad building students are really boring to watch. I know. I talked about it before you got here. And guys, I'll be 100% honest with you. I know they were boring. I know it's boring for you. I said it 1,000 times when I was doing it. I know it's boring for you guys to watch. And then I would get a bunch of people in chat saying, no, it's not boring, because there are some people that like it. It's not the kind of content that people want to see. However, I'm not trading that experience. I did pads on purpose. I did pads on purpose to be able to see how far I could take KSP with learning how stuff actually works in the real life. And 99% of engineering a launch vehicle is down on the ground. So I got what I wanted. But now that I have that experience, and now I know what it takes, let's learn the other stuff. Well, not learn. I know the other stuff, but you get the idea. We don't want to be bored with anybody else. All right, guys, give me 1 second. I'm just going to refresh my coffee. And we'll figure out what we want to go build first. Yeah, I'll be right back. 1 second. Now that I have my coffee, I gotta get it so I can watch radio. I'm back. Had to go down to the house to get water. Could you check your DMs when you get a second? You guys really like to tell me stuff. I have 4 new DMs. Okay, Vlagan. Yeah, no problem. Are we racing Monza today? No. All right. Ford is putting a D-stroke Godzilla into Super Duty Truck 6.8. It's like how a 400 is a D-stroked 460. Elfish, what year is it, dude? What's the first planet we can go for? Well, how I did it back in the day was build launch vehicles first, then build something in Leo, and then use that low Earth orbit space station to go somewhere. Guys, basically what I did was, back in the day, was implemented STS, the full space transportation system. So I gotta go back into my old explanations. This is what I ended up wanting to do. Space Transportation System Integrated Plan Program. So, the original STS program, honestly, only two of the goals were ever implemented, but there's originally 5. There's originally 5 goals for NSTS, National Space Transportation System. So the shuttle. When I always say the shuttle was supposed to do more than just launch into space and come back down, I mean it. Here's what the shuttle was supposed to do. If you look at this. Hey, watching, what's going on? Check this out. The integrated program plan was a proposal of reusable space vehicles envisioned in 1969 to support extended operations beyond the Apollo program. NASA appropriated the name for its space shuttle program, but the only component of the program to survive, because the shuttle was the only part of the program was to survive congressional approval. The purpose of the system was twofold: to reduce the cost of spaceflight by replacing the current method of launching capsules on expendable rockets with reusable spacecraft, and to support ambitious follow-on programs, including permanent orbiting space stations around the Earth and the Moon, and a human landing mission to Mars. A new Krippen station? Maybe. Yeah. Maybe we won't call it Krippen Station. But we could. So, the full-fold National Space Transportation System program consisted of this. The first step was to build the shuttle. That did happen, obviously. The space shuttle existed. The second step was to make a permanent space station designed for 6 to 12 occupants in a roughly 500 kilometer or 270 nautical mile low Earth orbit as a permanent lunar orbit station. Modules can be combined on Earth to create 50 to 100 person permanent station. So they wanted to build a space station around Earth, and then they wanted to build a space station around Moon, something analogous to the ISS and Gateway. Similar. Actually, there's the chemically fueled one. It wasn't 5, it was 4-fold. So a chemically fueled Earth to orbit shuttle, that part did happen. The permanent space station also did happen in the form of Space Station Freedom, which became the ISS. So 2 of the original Space Transportation System goals did eventually get done. Here's the stuff that didn't. A chemically fueled space tug to move crew and equipment between orbits as high as geosynchronous, which could be adapted as a lunar orbit to surface shuttle. And then eventually a nuclear-powered space tug using the Nerva engine to move crew, spacecraft, and supplies between low Earth orbit and lunar orbit, geosynchronous, or to other planets in the solar system. A crew module derived from a space station module would be used to send humans to the moon or Mars. Here you go. Basically, they wanted to use the shuttle to go up there, bring up a space tug, bring up a HAB module, and bring up a lander, and then send that out to the moon, to the Lunar Orbiting Station, or LOS. Yeah, I know. And basically use the Lunar Orbital Station as a staging point for lunar exploration. And then use all the technology developed for this to make transfer vehicles to Mars and wherever in the future. Because if you have the dexterity to go anywhere between the surface of the Earth and the moon, you should be able to adapt this hardware and go somewhere else, like Mars. Does this sound familiar? It kind of sounds like Gateway and the Artemis program. Interesting, huh? I need to get my coffee. Yeah, Poison. Yeah. Will the new module include planes? I don't know. Maybe. Maybe we'll do some Kerbal exploration. The K-29 and the K-60, those autogyro planes are great for exploration. Maybe we'll do that as a side project. I don't know. Let's just play it by ear. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Interesting, huh? Yep. So, that's what they wanted to do, and I think that's where we'll start. The thing is that I'm greedy, and we have an unlimited budget. So I'm doing what NASA should have done in the first place. Make Ares 1 and a reusable capsule. Make the space shuttle, which is a reusable upper stage, basically. And Ares 5. I'm combining Constellation and NSTS into one program because I want to, because I freaking can. Because fight the power. Fight the power! You got to fight the power, Zippy! Fight the power! Fight the power? You just want another shuttle. Sure, whatever. So I do like Gemstone 4. I do like how this rocket works. I might just use this and not scratch build it, because I literally scratch built this thing the other day. This thing does work. It flies. It flies very well, actually. Gemstone 5 is Ares 5? No. Is MLV down the drain? No, I think I'll use MLV and Gemstone. Yeah, I'll use both of them. If I need a reusable application. Be really good. So, I want Gemstone 4. I like this launch vehicle. This is a great launch vehicle. I really like this one a lot. It's one of my favorite vehicles. I'll do this to show the not expendable solution, but the refurbishable solution. And then, I said I wanted to scratch build, but the last two things that I really hardcore engineered in Kerbal were the MLV and this. It would be a shame to not have those. So, what I'm going to do is... I'm gonna go get the, I'm gonna go get MLV, and we'll use that.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Hypersonic Tier 2, 49 months. Scary, hey man, where have you been? Well, you don't need to answer that. Tier 2, 72 month resub, STS 72. In January 1996, Endeavor spends 8 days, launched some stuff, did some EVAs, and tested ISS building hardware. And made a PBS documentary narrated by Bill Nye. Good stuff. What's up, man? Oh, okay, yes.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
So that's what we're gonna do. Let me. It would be PA. Project Ares. Oh. Here's my entire old Kerbal save right here. Saves. Engineering mode. Ships. SPH. PA. Huh. I know the backups are in here somewhere. I just gotta go find them. I thought they would be in here, but it's probably in the extra folder. Here we go. Project Ares MLV stack prototype. Here we go. Copy that. Okay. All right. So we know Jebstone 4. We know that works. So save that. And let's go in here. Let's make sure that this works. Oh, there's my guy. There it is. This is a good vehicle, man. All right. Let's switch the editor over here. This is a full stack prototype. And just because we can, what we'll do, take this vehicle and we will put the launch stability enhancers, we'll put them on its hold down points that we engineered. And that should hold this thing. It'll hold it up. We know it'll hold it up. So there we go. All right. Let's see how she flies. You said the other day the shuttle could stay up for 2 weeks. Is the limiting factor the fuel cell? Could you make it stay up for longer with smaller crews, say like 3 or 4? You could. The limiting factor is the fuel cells and oxygen. The shuttle wasn't designed to stay up there very long. Only the question that you're asking is literally, can an airplane stay flying for longer? Sure. Of course an airplane could stay flying for longer. You would need food for the crew, and you would need fuel. See if she goes. Man, that thing looks nice. So, Goalie, the funny thing is that the shuttle could stay up there for 2 weeks with a mission duration extension pallet, or what's called EDO, extended duration orbiter. It could stay up there for that long. Yeah, that's already with the extension. The shuttle with no EDO really can only stay up for like a week, but it does depend on how much crew you send. Favorite takeaway from the KSP2 early access video: multiple pads, multiple runways, scary. That, and I think the new map view is choice. Scary, I had the pleasure of actually talking with Nate about a week before the trailer came out about the game and stuff. Like, private conversation, I couldn't say anything about it because, I couldn't say anything about it because I was under NDA. So, and they wanted to make it surprise. Which makes sense. Yeah, so it's good stuff, man. I think they got a real winner here, and yeah. So once again, fellas, what I'm doing here is I'm testing this thing, making sure that this thing does what we want it to do. Stand by. Or Miko. There's Miko. Yeah, it hunked the docking port. That's fine. Stand by for PLF separation. Okay, fairing separation confirmed. Now we go back over here. Back. Okay, boost back is confirmed. Let's move this thing back up into the other position here. So this thing flies a lot like Condor 9 back in the day. It's kind of my own design though. Pitching ya. Set the SAS right there. And we're up over 70. So now we switch back to the upper stage. Gonna try out Star Trek Fleet Command. Ever played it? Nope. I didn't have any plans on doing that, Sadie, and I've never played it before. So now we got to get the upper stage on orbit here before that thing comes back down. There we go. It's got all the KRPC tech in it. The separator is using KRPC tech. This thing was designed to be put together outside of the VAB, but that's fine. I mean, we'll use that. That technology will end up getting used somewhere else. So this thing, I wanted to be able to basically put a payload in a circular orbit here, 100 circular, but yeah, that's fine. Just leave that there. It can do 18 tons up here and then some. That's fine. We'll go back over to the first stage. Do you have real plume? It's Waterfall hypersonic. Okay, targeting the landing site here. Come on, bring her down. Okay. It's gonna be close. Ah, I burned a little too late. Damn. Ah! I started the burn a second too late. Could this rocket get more than 18 tons into orbit? I don't know. Probably not. TWR is the hindrance. The second stage still has more performance if we wanted to swap that, but yeah, no, we good. Back to work. Yeah. Just gonna make sure that deorbits. Hey RG, thanks for the raid. It's unreal how good stock KSP still is. That's right, Skira, yeah. RJ, could it move more? Probably not. No, it's not designed to move really more than that. You have a TWR problem on the pad if you move any more. I'm good, man. How are you? Yeah, I gotta pick up all this crap now. I kind of want to make sure that the landing legs work and everything, but you know what? I'm confident enough. I just got to make sure. I got to fly the thing more. Oops, I hit the fly button. Probably 18 blue, but yeah. So, yeah, that's what we'll do there. We can use MLV and we can use Jebstone. We could use both of them. It doesn't really matter. I guess when we feel like landing a stage, we'll do it. Redundant dissimilar, right? Stop asking for subs, JSTN. I'm only going to ask once. Oh, nice, RG. That's cool. All right. Need to go. It's class time. Okay, RG. All right, so we want Gemstone 4. That's fine. I'm unfamiliar with the new launch facility. It's just stuff that I put out there using Kerbal Konstructs, man. Hope everyone's having a good day. Yeah, it's no problem. JSTN, don't get me wrong. I'm not mad. You said it doesn't hurt to ask. But don't get peeved if you ask and the answer is no. You know what I mean? All right. Okay. Cool. I'm gonna call this thing good. I mean, it's super similar to Ares 1's upper stage. It's just you've never been gifted a sub and you've been waiting. This one would make a good crew launcher. Yeah, maybe. Like, the thing is, dude, I want to use MLV because I never put this thing to use. I want to put it to use. But I also want to use Gemstone 4. But maybe, yeah, maybe we'll have one for crew and one for cargo. That would make more sense. Crew on liquids and cargo on solids. Solids are safe. They're just as safe as liquids. In fact, they're more safe than liquid fuels. Than liquid fuel rocket engines. They have one moving part. I'm with Tori Bruno on this one, Scary. Deke, what's going on? Hey, I'm sure you've been asked this before, but what's your opinion and experience with RP1? Never played it. I'm afraid to get into it. It looks complicated. Deke, I like getting into complicated things, dude. I never played RP1 just because I was busy doing complicated things with stock KSP, but yeah, man. I think we'll go the redundant dissimilar route and make it so either one of them can launch. Yeah. Either one of them can launch whatever. I think that's the right move. What's RP1? RP1 is a mod for KSP where it makes the game way more realistic. But yeah, Deke, dude, you shouldn't be afraid to go and tackle new things, dude. Try it. Worked for me. It's just gonna take time. You self-teaching yourself takes time. So, yeah, I mean, same second stage or just similar. It's literally the same, dude. I might give them a common second stage and payload fairing, just because that would be cool. All right, so I'll call MLV good for now. If we want to go and redesign for a common second stage, I don't have a problem with that. They're literally the same thing, Hellfish. I like this one, though, because it has the pushrod guides. We could install the pushrod guides onto the SRB if we really want to. We don't have to worry about part count. Ain't building the pad, you know? We can kit out our boosters because we don't necessarily have to worry about it, you know? JSDN, save up some cash, dude, and get the sub button, man. Something you want, go out and earn it, dude. That's the way to do it, man. That's kind of what I talk about all the time. Yeah, or you could just get gifted a sub, but you don't learn the value of the sub that way, but it's all good.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Hey, Sniper 63-month resub, thank you. You should go out and earn it, man. If there's something you want that's obtainable, a sub is obtainable, it's $5. You know what I mean? That's super obtainable. Begging for it ain't gonna get you very far in the real world, man. It's not gonna get you very far. I mean, it might work, and in this case it did, but yeah, dude, you should go out there and earn it, man. That's the more important thing to do. Anyway, I'm done talking about that. So, we have Ares and Gemstone 4. Now, here's the thing, guys. Here's what I want to do. I want to... I'm trying to think about how I really want to implement this. I really just want to go back to circa 2014 rules. Like, if you're in mission mode, you declare you're in mission mode and no going back from there, right? Like, that's what I want to do. So the next bit here, it played the... That's awesome. I said quit it, so because you don't care anymore, so stop. Dude. You do, because if you didn't, like, you got gifted a sub, man. Congrats, you got what you wanted. What we're trying to tell you is that that's not bad wanting something, you know what I mean? But you gotta earn it, dude. That's how the real world works, man. You gotta earn things. I'm not mad. Anybody else here mad? We're not mad. You gotta learn to earn that stuff, man. You can't expect it from anybody. I try to talk to you guys about this a lot. You know? We're not singling you out, not anything like that. You gotta learn. That's important to go out. It's good to have dreams. It's good to want something. You know what I mean? That's fine. Gotta go out and gotta earn it, man. You'll value it more if you do. It's really, really important to understand that. Like, take my garage, for instance. If someone bought me the garage, would I value it as much as if I did, I grinded out working and streaming for 10 years to buy this? I value it a lot because I worked hard for it. You know what I mean? Trust me. And I'm not saying this to be a jerk, dude. I'm not saying this to be mean. We're not making fun of you. We're not doing that. But if you learn that you can go out and obtain what you want, it works a lot better doing it that way. Shouldn't expect anything from anybody. Now, don't get me wrong. It's nice to get a helping hand from time to time. But you should earn it, man. You'll value the sub more. I guarantee you'll feel better about it than just having it gifted to you. Because now it's like, Okay, whatever. I don't care. I'm over it now.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Like, work gave me 4 paid hours to go vote. 20 minutes later, I'm here. Greetings. Nice. Hey, Wizro, wow, 48 months. Thanks, man. Hey, guys, don't get at each other's throats, bros. Come on. That doesn't help learning. That doesn't help learn anything neither. Right? All right, let's go. Back to space. So, here's the thing. We got Gemstone 4, Block 4, great launch vehicle. We can work on stage commonality for this down the road. I like the way this stage came together. And Hellfish, I think it would be cool to make a common third stage. So like how Centaur 3 launched on Titan and Atlas, I think that would be cool. We should do that. I think that would be really neat. It'd be a really cool way to show that, we have stage commonality. And, oh man, I can't help it in the back of my head to say, like, oh, in mission mode, it'd be great. In MM2 rules, it'd be fantastic. But we also have that, and we have the MLV stack. So, the other vehicles that we need here are, I want my shuttle. I want my shuttle back. And chat kind of challenged me to build one because I haven't built a shuttle in a long time. Chat challenged me to make a shuttle.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
Are you going to design a super heavy lifter? What I want to do, RJ, is design the shuttle and then design Ares 5 based off of the shuttle. That's what I would like to do. So we're looking at a fueling depot in low Earth orbit. We're looking at getting the launch vehicles that I want for my save right now, dude. That's what we're doing. I don't know. Maybe we could do a depot. Figure it out. The stakeholder expectations are kind of like, I know this kind of goes against the way that I've played the game in the past, but in 2014, the stakeholder expectations for projects were just what I felt like freaking doing. So if I want to do a depot, I'll do a depot. You know? Vindicate Constellation. That's the idea, Joe. I thought you always wanted to have a goal before you design the oh, what? Oh, sorry. Yes, I didn't get the last part of your message. It looks like chat's moving too quickly. Do you think it's fully Russell's fault for knocking Sainz in turn 1? Yep, absolutely. Oh yeah, Bush League mistake. He did apologize for what it's worth, but yeah, you still screwed Ferrari and the constructors. So thanks for that, George. Moron. Does the title mean no more programming? No, not necessarily. Maybe we'll do that every once in a while. Have some fun with programming things. It would be a good skill to pick up. I still want to do that, but I think with the way KSP2 is, with what I saw with KSP2, I want to go back to having some fun in Kerbal. Fuel for the hype train. Thanks, Maz. 70-30, Carlos kept it way too tight. I don't know, Scary.
Discovery.
I mean, I think he kept it tight because he was trying to make a run in turn 2 on Max. Max was in front of him. I don't know, dude. I'm really Scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. And okay, hear me out here. I know bad driving when I see it. The reason why I know bad driving when I see it is because I'm a bad driver. That's pretty Bush League. That's a pretty Bush League mistake. No, taking the inside line and trying to accelerate through on turn 1, especially when you're going multiple cars wide. That's a Bush League mistake. And don't get me wrong, no driver's perfect. I know that drivers are going to make mistakes. With that being said, Russell has a very, in the last 5 races, he has a very, very bad habit of running his car into other people when they get in his way, even if it's for position, and then blaming them for it. He ruined Mick's race in Singapore, dude. That pissed me off. That really pissed me off. Mick was clearing well into the points, and he screwed that all up by literally driving into him, taking the inside line into a corner. It's like what happened with me and Dinkelberg when we were going into chicane, second chicane in the Mulsanne Straight. We were too wide, and I thought Dink was braking, so I took the inside line, and I drove right into him. Right? That's bad driving, dude. You can't be on the outside line and take the inside line through the corner. That's what he tried to do at Singapore. He ran right into Mick and then said, oh, Mick has no idea what he's doing. Yeah, okay, Mick has no idea what he's doing. I think you have no idea what you're doing. That is the single most disorienting corner I've ever driven to. George has been a wrecking ball lately for sure, too. Yeah, no, turn 1 is no joke. And he did apologize, and that's cool. But dude, you can't keep making that a habit. You screwed Mick's race, and now you screwed Carlos, too. And a 5-second penalty, that's all he gets? Dude, he finished like 20 seconds ahead of the guy behind him. Like, that 5-second penalty means nothing. If anything, he just screwed Ferrari and the constructors for a 5-second penalty. Dude, that's messed up. The irony, though, Russell taps him on the side pod, gets a coolant leak. Stroll turned the Alpine into an airplane, and it still finished the race. Yep. He also did that all the time during 2020 when all the youngins were streaming racing. Yeah. I think it'd be a fun challenge to eventually learn to program common missions the way you have common launch bodies. Yeah, launch vehicles. Yeah, Cyro, if I get the dude, I wouldn't mind getting a kRPC script figured out just for Ascent, right? And then, you know, stage shutdown, establishing apogee, and then I'll just do a manual burn through the apogee, you know, and then take control of it from there. That would be extremely useful, especially with the shuttle. I wouldn't mind doing that. But what I don't want to do is get hung up trying to engineer code for like 8 months and then have KSP2 come around and not giving KSP1 the send off it deserves. You know what I mean? Akila, what's going on, man? Long time no see. I'm not sure if someone has mentioned it before, but something in your room is making a banging sound now and again. It's probably me doing happy feet. You know what I mean? Can you guys hear it right now? Is the tapping noise in the room with you right now? EJ is afoot. Yeah, man. I got the happy feet from time to time. If not, it's just acorns hitting the roof or something. Tapping is coming from inside the house. I'll stop doing the happy feet for now. But yeah. So, guys, people want me to rebuild the shuttle. They want me to rebuild Collins. Here's what I was thinking. If we were going to rebuild Collins, I think it'd be cool to build Collins with solids. And yeah, I think it'd be cool to rebuild it with solids. Is Happy Feet ADHD? No. Artyom, you know, I don't really have happy feet. I don't really do it very often. Or I didn't do it very often. I got into a habit of doing that to keep the blood circulating in my legs. Seriously, I'm sitting here for 12 hours a day. You got to have circulation to your legs. Yeah, I do it to keep the blood flowing. Especially, like, I got into a habit of doing it during the winter. Because, remember, I used to stream in an ice box for the most part. Like, I would stream in my room would be 40 degrees Fahrenheit, which is almost 0 C. It's very close. I would stream in an ice box, so I did that to keep the blood flowing, and then you just get into a habit. So, I never used to have happy feet, ever. But now I have happy feet. How tall are you? 6'4"? Yep. So, yeah, apologies about the noise. I'll try to not do happy feet, but I have to get up. Then, if I don't do that, I got to get up and stretch. Let me just make sure it's not anything else. Nope, I don't hear any tapping right now. For solids, burn time to thrust ratio will be off. So, Rocket Guy, what we could do... This is more kind of run-of-the-mill Kerbal gameplay. And I know for a fact, right, the Clydesdale is not really... It ain't really powerful enough. It's not powerful enough for an SRB for a Mark III style shuttle. It really isn't. It's not. It's not powerful enough. We know that, right? So what I was thinking we could do is, long story short, and this is kind of the reason why I wanted to mess with Jebstone 4, but long story short, could get away with doing this if we wanted a little bit of extra horsepower under the hood, so to speak. We could get away with doing that to giving it the proper TWR. Now, this I wouldn't mind doing. Because remember, we're not going to full crazy hype realistic, okay? I want, you know, like, this is the Kerbal solution there. You know, with this save, I don't want to get too crazy, but I still want to keep my plausible realism thing going, you know? Check your mic stand and stuff. My mic stand is attached to something that's not even close to where my feet are. I have it attached to a shelf. TWR is not your only limit. Yeah, I know. We got to deal with burn time and stuff. Yeah, I know. I wonder, so Ron, again, I'm wondering what we would need to get a proper kind of going with it, you know? The proper burn time, the proper staging velocities, etc., etc. You can use thrust limits to adjust burn time. You are the Lowe's technician. You are the Lowe's technician in this scenario, S. Overclocking does not solve the burn time to TWR issue. Bingo. So we need to find a way to densify our solid rocket propellants in Kerbal. So what would be cool, what I would like to do is we'll engineer out the shuttle, because that's what they did in real life. And then we build shuttle-derived launch vehicles. No launch pads, none of that. We're focusing on, this is vehicle design now. Okay? Now, we'll focus on that, and then what we'll do is we'll make an Ares 1, and I want to make something similar to Ares 5, or SLS. It could be either one. I'm talking like a 5-meter core stage with 2.5-meter boosters, Clydesdales, and they're the same boosters that we put on the shuttle. So actually, maybe it'll end up being more like direct. Who knows? But my stakeholder expectations are I need a small crew-rated vehicle that can put a deep space capsule into space. So I want Orion, I want Ares 1, I want the space shuttle, and I want Ares 5. Okay? I want to integrate STS into Constellation and go from there. The shuttle will be used for low Earth orbit. The capsule will be used for when we need to go deep space. Okay? And what we can do is we can also make reusable transfer tugs in the interim, right? But when we get further and further down the road, maybe we won't use the Orion capsule, or maybe we will. It's going to be something like the Orion capsule. It'll be... It'll have a heat shield just in case I need it, but yeah, that's what I want to do. I may have bought one of those Cygnus hats you see in their Mission Control Center. You may have bought one? What, one of these? One of these, Joe? Yeah, they're cool hats. Element, I know more than you. See, you can see the solar panels are working. So, we're going to need a deep space capsule like Orion, and we're going to need a low Earth orbit reusable access vehicle. Well, that fixed the bumping sound? Really? That fixed it? My hats are on the shelf that the mic stand is attached to. Oh, I see what's going on. The mic stand is touching one of my lights. There should be no more tapping noise now. So, I never heard any bumping. Yeah, only certain people hear it, which is kind of weird, but... All right, so bring back the bumping sound. All right. So, Rocket Guy, let's, you know what? I might need to bring the shuttle in here just so I can reference the boosters. So, I'm going to go in here like this and bring CTSNG in here. I want to scratch, people said they wanted me to scratch build a shuttle. So, I don't have a problem with that. But, yeah, we're going to... It's going to be a little strange. Doing this CLS, NG... CTSNG, full stack type. Last modified 4/20/2022. Nice. All right, let's see what kind of burn time in Delta V we have here. Wait, no more kRPC? I don't remember ever saying that, Benno. You know what assuming does? Just makes you a butt. No, I never said nothing. You're just making assumptions all up in here. No, I'll still do kRPC, dude, but I want to have like an old school KSP style save. So here, look at it. Look at the glory. Oh. Dude, I can't build better than this. So Rocket Guy, maybe we should see what kind of numbers we're talking about here. And in order to do that, we're gonna have to fly it. Oh, baby. I missed you. I think you and I had similar-ish ideas. Oh, very nice. Very nice. This is my shuttle poop, man. This thing is... Would you like to be alone? No, no. No, no, I'm good. Is it still broken? No, it shouldn't be. I thought it had fuel flow issues. Two is RGU control. Let me just go in here and... Got to be at least 70-30 thrust-wise. So let's think about this. What does this thing have? Nice. I think I was using Mammoth engines now, or Mastodons. We had Mastodons. There's 4 of them in there. So I have 8 over each booster. So what's our liftoff? What does that put our liftoff thrust at? We had 4 of these guys. So 1283 times 4. Let's figure that out. So each one of these is pushing 5,100 kilonewtons out of the box, Rocket Guy. And I have them designed to tail off on thrust because of the fuel crossfeed system. So over time, these things shut off because certain ones are pulling from certain tanks. That was an extraordinarily complicated plumbing design that I needed to come up with for Kerbal, but it does work. No overclock needed. You guys got to remember, overclocking doesn't solve the problem necessarily. Keep that in mind. So 5,100. What's the Clydesdale put out? The Clydesdale puts out 29. Feeling better this week? I'm getting there, Joe. How are you doing? Are you still able to fly it? Yeah, it works. I'm pretty sure it does, at least. Let me just think about this real quick. Through 9305, 210, 235. Ooh. Good, just working on the internship search. Cool. I thought those were stock SRBs. No, the stock SRBs aren't powerful enough, Deke. That's the problem. They're not powerful enough to move a shuttle, a Mark III shuttle, into space. You're not going to get... It's not going to be right. But then again, I think these boosters might be a little bit over-engineered. You know what? Let's see. You got a 25% raise confirmed today? Nice. What about 4 SRBs Energia style? Four SRBs wouldn't give us the burn time that we're looking for, dude. That's the problem. Over-engineering is your middle name? Yeah, you could say that. Alright, let's check something here. So I want to go into the AGs. AG1 is not being used. So let's go in here like this. Select these. Enable same vessel interaction. Get that one. Enable SVI. And then click on this guy right here. Enable same vessel interaction. See if we can do that on the other side as well. They are picking up on a symmetry node. Alright, cool. That should hold this... The hybrid tech should hold this shuttle together really nice. Alright. Let's see what we got here. Control point is set. Got liftoff. Roll program. Roger, roll. Sound is awfully low. Vehicle is now throttling back for maximum dynamic pressure. Oh, it looks so beautiful. We have achieved max Q. Vehicle is now supersonic. Oh, it's still in transonic, but it's fine. Go with throttle up. Copy, go with throttle up. Wow. No, never. This is the first time. Jay, never seen this thing fly. With Waterfall before, but man, does it look nice. Those engines shouldn't be at 100%, but it's okay. Come on, baby, pitch over. There you go. So believe it or not, the SRBs are probably working for about a quarter of the flight. So if we wanted to get the SRBs correct, we would really... They would really need... So it takes about 8 minutes to get into orbit in real life. It takes about 4 minutes in KSP. So our burn time should be around 60 to 70 seconds on the SRBs if we were going to do it right. But then again, I mean, I don't know. My SRBs are burning well over 2 minutes. Really wish we had the sound, but the sound glitched at the beginning. Thrust tailing off. Standing by for separation. Yeah, see, my SRBs are... This is way too long of a burn time. We're well over the staging velocity here. Let's see if this works. See if separation actually does its thing. Yep. It did, but also we had a strike, so yeah. It didn't like that. And we're missing a wing. Yeah, not good. Not exactly what we want, but I mean it'll still make it. Yeah. This would be death for the real one. 'Tis but a scratch. A scratch your wings off, no it isn't. Stand by, press for Miko. Roger, press for Miko. We have Miko confirmed. Main engine shutdown. Separation. Well, that all works. That's kind of neat. Okay, now land it. No, we're only messing with ascents today. Would we go to the ISS and just stay there in real life, waiting for two half-empty shuttles? King, I'm not sure what you're trying to ask. Yep. Yep, there she is. Yes, Sneaky. It's got a broken wing, though. If this is an ISS mission where they continue the ISS send-up recovery, yeah, probably, Scary. Yeah. I mean, this is a nightmare scenario. In this scenario, dude, like, if this happened in real life, honestly, this is like Challenger tier failure right here. If this happened in real life, you need to take a good look in the mirror, you know? So improvements. Burn time on SRBs reduced to a maximum of 210. 2 separate SRBs where they still burn small amount with the last Mastodon should help with separation and keeping them from striking. Yep. Okay. Can you make the stock SRBs work? That's what I'm trying to figure out right now, Fred. Yeah, that's what we're trying to figure out, dude. We'll see. We'll see. Okay. Oh, for sure. Clarifying King's question. Oh, yeah. Okay, Scary. Yeah, I got you. Okay. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yes. Yeah, I've replaced them before. I replaced the broken wing on the shuttle and actually brought it back down. Still can't believe that. That was one of the most gnarly missions I've ever done. How will they get rid of the shuttle after docking to the ISS because the thing is junk now? I don't know, Goalie. I don't know what NASA's contingency plan would be. I have no freaking clue. I would know that if you're striking the wing on an SRB separation, you messed up good. I honestly think if a glaring issue like that was out there, they wouldn't even bother launching it. That's like Challenger tier failure right there. Honestly, with the way NASA works in modern times, they would never come to that. Ever. Especially with what happened after Columbia. They'd never come to it. I don't know, Aqualex. We're still trying to figure that one out. Nah, Dvorshak, I don't want to do that either. I'm thinking, dudes. I'm thinking how I want to do this. Back in a bit. All right, Rocket. Hang on. There's a horse flying here. Where'd you go? I just saw him. He's a big, slow mover. Easy target. Gonna use my NASA-approved fly swatter here. Where'd you go? Go. Come out to play. Horsefly. Come out to play. No, it's warm in here, so the bugs like the heat. That's why there's bugs in Florida. Come here. Got a present for you. Not around. Next time I see him, though, he's got to get a face full of space shuttle. Okay. When do you plan on programming Roxas again? When I feel like it. Yep, when I feel like doing it. Alright. I have one in the house, Caveman, but that doesn't help me right now. Give me 1 second, guys. I have one of those too, also in the house. Doesn't really help me. There's been flies in here ever since Bree left the door open the other day, and my garage door stayed open for about 4 hours, and now there's bugs in here. All right. Okay, so we want something like the shuttle. Dude, I'm not entirely... Our burn times are all screwed up. I might just take the orbiter and redo the tank and boosters. Because the orbiter is choice, man. That thing is great. Not touching that one, goalie. Could you take some fuel out to reduce burn time? We could, but that's going to throw a lot of dynamics completely out of whack. What about replacing the lost weight with ore tanks? Deke. You don't replace a dynamic load with a static one. Not a good idea. Deke. Come on, man. I mean, it's going to screw up the entire dynamics of the vehicle, guys. No. So, look, this thing has the engines. The second stage engines are tilted and they're off to the side, dudes, right? Like, that's the problem. You start messing with the external tank, you take this off, right? You start moving mass over here at liftoff, it's going to shift the center of mass more towards the shuttle because that's where all your reusable components are, right? And shifting that center of mass more towards the shuttle right at liftoff will get it to it'll take it out of whack. It'll move it completely out of whack. You let me explain. So the shuttle has this thing, okay? There's this thing with a shuttle stack. The thing is that there's this big thing attached to the side of a of an otherwise conventional rocket, right? See this big thing going on over here? See that big boy? Yeah, that's the problem here. So, look, with this shuttle, when I engineered this shuttle to be reintegratable. It's reintegratable to the pad, which is why I have it attached on docking ports. Yeah, this shuttle was designed to be reused. We're not necessarily going to reuse it this time around. I'll just land it on the runway and just say we reused it. You know, like circa 2014 rules. That's how I used to do it. I want to go back to doing that, which is fine, right? So, see this big thing right here? So, all right. I'm having trouble kind of snapping back into streaming today, dude. I think it's just brain fog from being sick. So, okay, because you have this big freaking thing attached to the side, now your dynamics are completely screwed up. So what does that mean? So with a conventional rocket, with something like SLS, your engines are down here. The engines are lined up on the vehicle's long axis, right? This 47 meter here, the long axis. So your center of thrust is pretty much lined up with your center of mass. It doesn't really matter what you do here. You know, with your payload, with your payload's still lined up at the very top. So it doesn't really matter. You could put a heavier payload up there. It's not that big of a deal. You could have more thrust down here. Not that big of a deal. You're still going to change things, right? So with the shuttle, they took the engines that would normally be down here, and then they moved them up there. So now you're offset by 15 degrees, okay? Now you're going to run into problems. The reason why you're going to run into problems is because these engines need liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen. So you got hydrogen here and you got oxygen here, right? The oxygen is up in the lobed tank up at the front, and then the hydrogen tank is just pill-shaped. And they're attached at the center here with a inner tank. It's called an inner tank. The inner tank is a aluminum stringered out structural component that connects the hydrogen and oxygen tanks together, right? Hey, Dank, 27-month resub. We demand the MDM and carrier plane. Okay. Okay, if that's how you want to do it. So, here's the thing. Changing the amount of... So, how did they solve this problem in real life? How did they solve for the fact that you have a 60-ton orbiter? You have 60 tons of dry mass just hanging off the side. How do they solve it? Well, the key is with fuel pressurization. Different pressures. Hydrogen and oxygen can be stored at different pressures. The reason why, we know from SLS that storing hydrogen at high pressure usually makes a leak. Shuttle engineers knew this. So when they went to use this design, the hydrogen tank, if you look, is way bigger than the oxygen tank. Despite the shuttle despite like Hydrolox motors having like a 5-to-6 oxidizer to fuel ratio, that's what Stoich is for the shuttle engines. So the ideal kind of amount of liquid fuel and oxidizer, liquid hydrogen and liquid oxygen, to make the most efficient burn, right? Look, the hydrogen tank is way bigger. Now, why? Why is it bigger? Hydrogen can't be stored at a higher fuel density. So the shuttle engineers came up with the idea, because this is all offset, right? You need to make your fuels drain at equal rates, because the center of mass is going to move. It's going to move backwards. It's going to move forwards if you don't get this drain rate correctly. So my solution was to break up the tanks. You segment out the tanks, right? So I have that's why my external tank is a bunch of different tanks, so I could figure out that balance, right? But with the real shuttle, what they did was they stored the liquid oxygen at a higher pressure. There's more LOX inside of here, and there's hydrogen in a much bigger volume. There's the same amount of liquid oxygen in a much smaller volume because liquid oxygen is easier to densify. Ask SpaceX, right? It's way easier than hydrogen. So they offset these engines here to take into account that each tank would drain basically linearly, despite this tank being a lot bigger than that tank. Okay? So these tanks would both drain at pretty much the same rate, but at different densities. So that would make it so when the shuttle is flying with the center with the external tank after SRB separation, the center of mass is basically up here. It's way up in front. The center of mass is basically right where these engines are pointing at each other. Because the hydrogen and oxygen drain at the same rate because they're going to the rocket engines, but the hydrogen is stored at a much lower pressure. Right? It's the same amount of propellant in a much smaller volume because hydrogen is hard to pressurize. It's hard to put more hydrogen in the same volume. Because once you start pressurizing it, it's going to geyser, it's going to evaporate, and it's going to leak. Straight up. So, shuttle engineers came up with the idea of making a bigger external tank and storing the hydrogen at a lower density than the LOX. That makes it so the external tank, basically its center of mass, if like you could just look at the fuel flowing out of the external tank the entire time, the external tank center of mass would stay right here. It stays right there. See that? Yeah, dog trainer, it's nuts, right? This is why the shuttle is S tier. It doesn't get crazier than this, right? The external tank center of mass, if you could isolate the COM during a shuttle launch, it stays right where my mouse cursor is, right at the front attachment point on the SRB. It's not an accident. That is not an accident at all. Now, keen-eyed will notice where the shuttle engine's pointing at. Where the shuttle engine's pointing. They point right at the inner tank. They point right at the center of mass. That's not coincidence, man. That is not a coincidence. They're pointing right at it. So, if they're pointing right at it, why do the shuttle engines have gimbal? Why do they have gimbal? What's the point of that? They're pointing right through it. So at separation, the shuttle engines should be at 0 gimbal and they point right through the center of mass. Shuttle should just fly into space. Why do those shuttle engines need that crazy pivotable? Why do they need that crazy pivotable motion? Why do they need 10.5 degrees of thrust vector control? You guys know. Some of you know. No, not necessarily genuine username, because the SRBs are doing the same thing every time. It's there because where's your variable here? What's the difference with the shuttle? This is another crazy thing. The shuttle can launch into space. The shuttle could launch. It still flies in my head. I'm sorry. The shuttle could launch into space with nothing in the payload bay. It could launch into space with 25 tons of payload in the payload bay. You do either one, and it would fly exactly the same every time. Right? Think about it. Try to make a shuttle in Kerbal. Launch it with 25 tons and then launch it with 0 and see if it does the same thing. You're talking about a crazy dynamic mass here, depending on your ascent, right? That's where the shuttle gimbal, the shuttle engines, the shuttle thrust vector control systems, that's where that comes in, right? If you watch a shuttle ascent after the SRBs separate, they say something along the lines of guidance systems now converging, shuttle's onboard computers commanding the main engine nozzles to swivel, aiming the shuttle for its precise target in space for main engine cutoff. The TVC really comes into its own when you have 25 tons of whatever inside of this. If the shuttle is carrying nothing, these engines basically just make minute adjustments to point right through the center of mass. Now, why would you launch with nothing in the payload bay? Hubble servicing mission, maybe? Right? Or, say you're building the ISS. Now you have 25 tons of payload in here. That's going to screw with your center of mass. When you're launching with nothing in the payload bay, right? When you're launching with nothing in the payload bay, center of mass stays right around here, right? And then as the external tank drains, comparatively with the shuttle, your center of mass is going to start moving this way. It's going to start moving that way. Why is it going to start moving that way? Well, you have static mass over here, or what's in aerospace, what's called dry mass, right? It's called dry mass. And then you have dynamic mass over here, what's called wet mass. So fuel. The fuel is going to drain. The tank will literally be less mass, right? Same volume, but less mass. Check this out. So the shuttle has a big, gigantic payload in it, right? You have the crew up top. Now the crew and all the systems that they need to survive is a lot of mass. The payload's obviously a lot of mass. But it ain't nothing compared to the 3 Mack trucks worth of shuttle engine that you have sitting off the back of this thing. So if we look at the external tank and the external tank is draining by itself, right? Say we just isolate the external tank and watch where that center of mass goes. It is never going to leave here. It's never going to leave right there because your hydrogen and your oxygen are stored at different pressures, but they both drain at the same rate. But the hydrogen is stored at a much lower pressure. Oxygen is stored at a much higher pressure. They both drain at the same rate. Center of mass stays right where my mouse cursor is. Okay, so now combine that with the shuttle. No SRBs on the side. SRBs are gone, right? Dun 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 dun. Right? Now what? Now you have a crazy amount of dry mass here. Where's the center of mass going to go after the SRBs separate? Where's it going to go? Well, it's going to go towards the big Mack truck worth of engines. RS-25s and shuttle main engines are not small. They are about the size and as heavy as a big rig. So if you ever played American Truck Simulator, yeah, that. They're pretty freaking big. They're big engines and they're heavy for this, right? So the shuttle center of mass is way over here. It's way over here. We know that the shuttle COM is over here somewhere because that's where the rear landing gear are, right? If we back this out and we go look at another view, well, your big landing gear are always going to be behind your center of mass. So where's the center of mass on a shuttle? Center of mass is somewhere over here. Even if it has a full payload bay in it, its center of mass is going to be maybe around the American flag at best. So it's somewhere in this third payload bay segment on ascent and during descent. And this is the reason why the shuttle can only take down half of what it can take up. Because if you had a full payload bay with the shuttle, the center of mass would be over here somewhere, and your wings and your landing gear would not work correctly, and the shuttle would not be able to fly. It can only take down half of what it brings up, because it's a glider. You don't want to screw up the whole, flying and landing part. That's kind of important. So, we know that the shuttle center of mass is somewhere around the U in the United States. It's somewhere in between there during ascent, between the flag and the U, right? So now let's go back to that other picture. So where is that? That would be right around here. So now you have your external tank and you have your shuttle combined. Your center of mass is over here. Where is it going to go? It's going this way. See this? It's going that way. It's going towards the flag in the U as the external tank drains. If I drew a line here, what does that line line up with? See what I mean? Lines up perfectly with the shuttle engines. That's not an accident. It's not an accident. That's how the shuttle can fly into space despite hanging off the side of its external tank. Even when the SRBs separate, the shuttle's center of mass, the tank's center of mass are coplanar. They are aligned on the thrust vector of 0 gimbal on this. Now, okay. So, the shuttle has a big, gigantic freaking payload in there. You have 25 metric tons. That's 52,000 pounds of payload. Now, where does that line go? That line is the same, but it shifts up. It shifts up this way. So it would start here, and then that line would start going back. That is the reason why the shuttle engines can gimbal 10.5 degrees, to accommodate for differential payload mass. That's why they swivel. If you watch my shuttle launch into space, these engines stay fixed until the SRBs separate, and then they start pivoting. Because I designed this shuttle stack to do the exact same thing. I sat there for months trying to figure this out. Months of streaming, 8 hours a day of Kerbal, trying to figure out the dynamics of a shuttle launch. That's what makes the stack so special. It works exactly like the real shuttle does. I faked it in Kerbal. Now, don't get me wrong. The things I didn't get right is getting the booster times correctly. This shuttle it would be like a shuttle launching with 5-segment boosters, right? What's your favorite shuttle? Challenger. Yeah, I know about build 8 S-Master. I don't need that. The engines, you got it, Bravo Chick. You guys, yeah, see what I mean? That's why the shuttle engines pivot. When I designed this, I designed it to do that. I designed everything, the shuttle center of mass and the tank center of mass are more or less aligned. That's why I have bigger tanks up in front and smaller tanks out back. That was my solution to get around differential fuel pressure. It's tough. It's tough. It's a hard thing to do. I spent 6 months engineering the external tank. It was difficult. It's very difficult. That's right, Panta. Every subsequent shuttle design is based off of Challenger, not Columbia. Discovery, Atlantis, Endeavor, they're all Challenger. It's a copy of Challenger. They ain't copies of Columbia. That's why I like Challenger, because Challenger was the next level. It's next level shuttle. So, Deke, that's the reason why, you said, oh, just put, ballast in there. Dude, that would screw that whole thing up. That line could potentially get to a point where the engines can't compensate for it. And this is the biggest problem that people have when they try to build a shuttle in KSP, even till this day. I still get people coming into Kerbal and be like, oh, EJ, I know you have a shuttle. My shuttle spins out at separation. Why does that happen? Because you didn't get the dynamics right. That's really, really important to understand. Endeavor was 1.3. Yep. You have to get the external tank center of mass and the shuttle center of mass. They have to be coplanar. They have to be coplanar aligned with your engines, and that will get you your engine angle. You don't even have to be making a space shuttle. You don't even have to do that. You can make your own side-mounted shuttle, and that will still work. But your engines at 0 gimbal with no SRBs attached need to be your external tank, dry center of mass, and shuttle dry center of mass need to be aligned. If they're not, it's not going to work. You'll spin out when you try to get up into space. Did you guys see that even though this thing had a wing come off, it still flew into space just fine? That's because I spent months trying to figure this out. Didn't have any shuttle engineers to help me. I mean, I did. I had a couple. I had 1 or 2. But the shuttle engineers that were in the stream weren't people that worked with fuel dynamics. Does this still work? Yeah, it works, Josh. It works okay. Yeah, it's all right. The sequence separation events aren't working correctly, but yeah. So what I want to do, guys, is I want to go through, and I think I'm going to use the same orbiter, if you guys don't mind. I want to use my same orbiter, but I want to rebuild this to use solids. I think solids would be really cool to use with this thing. And that's going to introduce a crazy amount of problems here. Because, once again, I have to go redesign the dynamics of this. But I think that would be a fun thing to do. I've got into pad design for the longest time. Let's do a deep dive into vehicle design, I want to get it to use solids. But we have to go and figure out, what that's going to entail. So let's go back over into the SPH. And then, based off of this new redesigned shuttle stack, then we can take those boosters that we made and we can apply them to Gemstone 4, and we can apply them to a shuttle-derived SLS or Ares 5 style launch vehicle, right? That's what I want to do. And that will make up the 4 launch vehicles that I want for this old school mission mode save. You know what I'm saying? That was my thought. I want to use MLV just because it's cool. Just because I want to have some form of first stage reusability kind of figured into the design. I think that would be cool. What would the retirement order have looked like if the shuttle was still being used and made? The shuttles are clear, goalie. They're certed for 100 missions. The frames are certed for 100 missions because they thought they'd be flying them every week. So even if we kept flying the shuttles at the flight rate that they were flying at the end of the shuttle program, so that's basically 4 times a year. Even if we were flying them at that flight rate, yeah, none of them would be even close to near retirement. Like, not even close. Every single shuttle, dude, has like 40,000 miles on the odometer, so to speak. They're all low mileage, especially Endeavor. Endeavor's younger than me. I got 4 years on that thing. So yeah, this is what I mean about the shuttle being S tier. You know how difficult of a problem that is to solve? And they just crapped this thing out in less than 10 years. Unfreaking believable. That's what I'm talking about, man. That's how you make a launch vehicle. Assume the flight rate pre-Challenger, they all would have been tested at that point. I mean, dude, they were for 1988, they manifested like 70 missions for 1988. Like, they were gonna ramp up with Challenger. 1985 was the start of the ramp up. 70 missions across 4 orbiters. Let me think. So that's an average of 17 missions per orbiter, right? So we do 100 divided by 17. They would have been toast by the time Endeavor was made. So by the 90s, they would have reached their theoretical maximum. That's when you would have needed to have built more. Shuttle would last about 5 years, the airframes. If you figured in 72 mission flight rate, yeah, 5 years. I wish the shuttle launched from Vandy. Oh, me too, man. Me too. My image repository generic username is a bunch of pictures that I was able to find of Enterprise during fit tests at Vandenberg. Dude, look at some of the iron in this, man. Oh. Shuttle 2.0 was scheduled for the 90s. Basically a better version of this. Yep. It's beast, man. Dude, I'm telling you, I still think there's an application for these things. Even to this day. If someone comes along and makes a new shuttle or some type of fully reusable second stage, you're going to be in business, man. You're going to be in business for a long time. This is an insane piece of kit. It's nuts. Even by today's standards. This is an insane piece of equipment. You know how hard this is to do? And NASA made it look routine for 30 freaking years. I mean, don't get me wrong. There were bumps. There were bumps in the road. Absolutely. But just freaking, it's unbelievable. This is why the shuttle is S tier. Like, don't get me wrong. The Saturn V is amazing. I love the Saturn V. The shuttle is crazier. The shuttle is absolutely a nuttier launch vehicle. It's an S tier launch vehicle. It does not get better than this. It don't get better than that. The only thing that ever's going to come near this or even surpass it is Starship or Terran R or whatever the heck Blue Origin is kind of cooking up. That is insane. That is nuts. It is a nuts piece of equipment. Like, and with this new save, I will show you what this thing can do. Or Skylon. Dude, even Skylon, man. Now, don't get me wrong. Skylon could absolutely do the flight rate. Oh, yeah. That would be amazing. Yeah. I think, yeah. Skylon would be crazy. But I don't think Skylon matches the insaneness of the shuttle. I don't think it does. Now, don't get me wrong. This isn't a mark towards reaction engines or anything like that. In terms of an engineering project, I think that is more complicated than Skylon. And you would agree, right? Because Skylon is supposed to be the game changer, right? That's supposed to be an airplane that flies up into space. That theoretically is a lot simpler of a thing to solve than that. This is absolutely nuts. This is like taking something as aerodynamic as a steam engine, right, with no fairing on it, and launching it into space. It is absolutely absurd how complicated this vehicle is. Like, I learn new things about it even now. Oh, look at this thing. Dude, you think Dragon docking to the ISS is cool? Seeing that thing come up to the ISS was nuts. Absolutely nuts. Look at it. It's ridiculous. I'll have to meet with... you're going to meet Jerry Ross. That's cool, Jared. Yeah, no CAD. No computer-aided design. They made that thing with blueprints. Can you believe that? And then there was Venture Star. Now, Venture Star would have been complicated in its own right, but at least with Venture Star, Aqualex, you're using one propellant. I still think the shuttle is more insane. Dude, this is a dance between a Hydrolox motor and solid rocket boosters. It's a freaking dance. I think this thing is harder to make than Venture Star, if you really want my honest opinion. You know how nuts this is? This is ridiculous. It's absolutely nuts. But yeah, that's why, like, Deke suggested, like, oh, put ballast in. Oh, dude, I can't. It won't fly. It won't make it into space. It won't make it. So we got to figure out how to balance this all up. So what's the first thing we should do? I think we should figure out the boosters, right? Like, that's what we would want. So let's go in here and let's make a... Let's make a new craft file. We'll make our new craft file. Aren't OMS engines just Apollo CSM engines? They're not just Apollo CSM engines. They are optimized with reusability in mind, genuine. They are the same. They are a similar type of engine. They're AJ10s. The ones on the shuttle are AJ10-190s. It's a version of the same motor that is designed to be reused. The Apollo CSM ones were not designed to be reused.
Discovery, go at throttle.
Bossier, did I just get here for the yearly shuttle build? Sure. Probably be easier to make, but more complicated dynamics and flight segment. Yeah. I mean, Rocket, you got to remember, that's a good thing to understand. We're comparing the space shuttle to Skylon. We're comparing the space shuttle to Starship. We're comparing the space shuttle to Venture Star. All of those things don't exist. You know what I mean. None of them are an operational launch vehicle. Starship is yet, and when Starship flies, I think it'll be better than the space shuttle for what it's worth. But we're comparing something that actually flew into space for 30 years to a bunch of drawings. You know what I mean? You're never going to be able to know what's more complicated or not. But right now, because the shuttle flew into space, I would rule that as way more complicated. Think about it. That's nice, Flankin, yeah. All right, so let's get this music. All right, so we need Rocket Guy. My boosters make 5,100, I believe. It's 4 Mastodon engines, right? So 1283. We'll use sea level, right? I'm just going to use my calculator. So 5132 is what our liftoff thrust needs to be for each booster, right? And then we're aiming for, what was the burn time, dude? You know what? We'll call it CTS2. Actually, let me count. Call it CTS5. Save. 2 minutes, 10 seconds. X-33 was 70% there. Don't get me started. I'll get mad. So let's think about this. The shuttle engines burn for 2 minute 30 seconds in real life. So that's about in line with the first stage. Like Falcon 9 is very similar. Atlas 5 flies on a similar profile. Most rockets fly on that. So 2 minute 30 seconds out of an 8-minute ascent, right? It takes about 4 to 5 minutes to get into space in KSP, give or take. So let's just do some quick math out and say that we're a little over 25% of the total ascent time should be used for boosters. If it takes about 4 to 5 minutes, anywhere in between there. Let's just say 4. That means we need something to last about 60, maybe 70, 80 seconds, something like that. Because with the shuttle, you'd have a little bit of a later ascent. Shuttle almost did 9 minutes to orbit because, believe it or not, shuttle with flying with the external tank was extremely low thrust to weight. It was a really low TWR, but extraordinarily efficient. Shuttle engines up in vacuum make 465 second specific impulse, which is RL10 efficient. That's why shuttle engines are so good. Need like 90 seconds. So, rocket, that's 86. So if we lower that thrust limiter, lower it to 90, where does it get us? That gets us 95, right? If we lower it down to 80, where does that get us? 107. TWR was just above 1 at SRB separation, right? No, it was lower than that. The SRB TWR goes below 1 banana time, but these things are still generating residual thrust even after separation. Yeah, the launch TWR was very high, Josh. That's right. The reason why is because, well, I don't think we need to know that that thing isn't the most aerodynamic thing around. Nah, I'm good, Aqualux. Does that burn time take into account the variable thrust from a cow controller? No, Novus, it does not. If we do that, it doesn't do that. This might get a little difficult, dude. Yeah, of course, it's cool. Yeah, no, yeah, we're gonna have to. So, this gives us a liftoff thrust of 2359. Now, where's our thrust control transform? Thrust transform is right there. Oh dear. Now, what does this get us here? Hang on, let me put this right here. Flip this sucker around. Yeah, dog trainer, I do. Oh, you should see the stuff that I have now. I have something better than helicopters, man. I have auto gyros. Yeah. We took that helicopter stuff to the next level. Let me show you real quick. Check this thing out. Yeah. Auto gyro. This thing can go anywhere. Flies like an airplane when you're in auto gyro mode, and it can hover like a helicopter. Yeah, I built it a little while back. This thing can go anywhere. You can go anywhere in Kerbal, land on any mountain, anywhere. It can. I don't think it can circumnavigate. I don't think it has enough fuel, but its range is unreal. Can it cook grilled cheese? I haven't tested it. All right, so what do our numbers look like now? 2 of these things gives us 4718. The auto gyro isn't on Kerbal X. I don't know if I ever put it on there. Okay. Imagine if we had this. Also really well made video that I've never seen before. Is this Haze? This is a Haze Gray art video, isn't it? Yep. Saturn shuttle with flyback. That was one of the proposed shuttle ideas. They thought that the building SRBs would be cheaper than trying to build flyback S1Cs, which is... Yeah, that's pretty much on point, Theix, yeah. Alright, so... This is giving us a 1.67... 1.6 TWR. It's giving us 4,700 thrust. Now, here's the thing, guys. Do we want... So, Rocket Guy, I'd be curious for your opinion on this. And just anybody in chat, too. Somebody suggested, you know, why don't you just pack up 2 SRBs and have a Energia style with SRBs? I'm not necessarily against doing something like that. A shuttle with 4 SRBs on it would look actually pretty damn cool. But... does that get the point across? No. Would you guys want a clipped SRB and then having this thing look like the real space shuttle? I think we should. I like this idea. Or we could do 2 separated boosters. I know the balancing system here. I know how this all kind of goes together. We could do either one. Is that a Supra? No. Oh yeah, dog. This is an amazing picture. Yeah, absolutely. So I'm not entirely sure. What do you think? Make it look like the real thing. I'm kind of with you on that one. What are the requirements? Are we rebuilding Collins NG, aka analog, or can we take design liberties to make the SRBs work? That's your take. Rocket Guy, I wanted to build a more integrated system across my launch vehicles. So, point is that if I want to use the shuttle in something like Ares 5 and something like Ares 1, it would be cool to use the same booster, don't you think? I mean, chat already... the reason why is because chat challenged me to scratch build stuff for this new engineering mode save. They want me to scratch build it. So if I'm going to scratch build it, I think building it with a booster, if we engineer the boosters for the shuttle, with the tail off and everything, then engineering a booster for Jebstone 4, and then eventually an Ares 5 would be... yeah, that'd be great. I could just borrow the booster design. Shuttle derived, right? Like, that's the idea. That's what I want. My stakeholder expectations is I want Ares 5, Ares 1, and the Space Shuttle all working in conjunction in the same program. And if they were going to do that in real life, if NASA actually had the money to do something like that in real life, to operate the shuttle Ares 1 and Ares 5, so Orion, I'm talking about Orion and the Space Shuttle existing in the same space program. If they were going to do that, they absolutely would standardize the booster. Because Ares 1, Ares 5, and the Space Shuttle all have common components. I mean, Ares 1 and Ares 5 have the 5-segment boosters. I understand that. But I think that would be really cool. Yeah, O-Force, we probably should. I suggest if you're trying to make it approachable, try not to use advanced building methods unless needed. Yeah. Mm-hmm. In that case, what are the clipping limitations? I know you usually avoid clipping fuel tanks. Engines, not so much. But in this case, clipping the engines really clips a lot of fuel together. Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong. Which is why, Rocket Guy, I thought that clipping the thoroughbred in there would be kind of more in line with what we're trying to do. Are you coming down for NG18? Unlikely, John. Unlikely. That would be better, but it might not be enough oomph. Yeah. Let's give us the oomph that we need. No, I think that gives us the oomph that we need. Yeah, Rocket, that's where we want. But even then, we'd have to program the thrust controller to get the tail off correct. You know, for max Q and better stability on the way up. Personally, would want the sling SRB configuration, but not at the expense of clipping that much. So me personally, I would probably go for Energia style with solids, but also not limiting myself to having 4 separate SRBs and not just 2 glued together, just you though. Lions here. Sam, where'd you go? Oh, he's flying around. He's flying around.
Where are you, Mr. Fly? I'm one of the good guys, Fly. Don't run.
Damn it. Flew out the door. At least I think he did. I don't know. Probably not. He's a liar, Fly! Would also be interesting to see a true Delta 4 medium 5.4, yeah. No. Delta 5 medium. Yeah. Delta 5 medium 5.4. Yeah, I see what you're saying. Yeah, I'm kind of with you on that one, dude. I mean, it shouldn't be that big of a deal to explain. Rock Guy, do you think they would be difficult enough to explain to the point of it being distracting that my shuttle has 4 SRBs because the SRBs in Kerbal aren't powerful enough to emulate how the real ones fly? Because what does this get me? If these are both at 100, obviously our burn time is different. Certainly opens up good teaching content. All right. This certainly gives us the business here. But see, here's the thing, Rocket. How would we do this with Jebstone? How would we make this work with Jebstone? I'm not sure it would be able to. But with Jebstone, it's using a single one of these, so you still get your standardization. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, I think this is much more in line with plausible realism, especially since I'm constrained with propulsion. Yeah. I mean, Jebstone is just using a single one of these. Done. Single booster. Shuttle stack will have 2, and so will our Ares 5 styled stack. Can you share 3 images? Yeah, sure, RG. Go ahead. Okay. What am I looking at here, RG? Hang on. Bask in the glory of the original STS ideas. It's your VTOL SSTO. Okay. Nice. Yeah, not bad. Tail dragging landing gear. Not that it matters. Still cool. Would a staggering firing like this work? That would shift the dynamic, the masses around too much, Creeper. I'm gonna get the boosters to fly on all 4, the same to fly on all 4, the same of them to fly all on the same tail off thrust over time. Now the real key is to get that figured out. So now hopefully that saves. Yeah, booster testing already exists. Yeah. All right, so I'll think about it. Passing. Shuttle Nerva ain't gonna look like how it did before, where we just attached that module to the back of the shuttle and got it out there. It would be a stage. It would be a stage that we put together. What was the shuttle thrust curve like? The shuttle thrust curve. Thrust curve on what? The solids, the liquids? What are we talking about? Speaking of Jim, cool is he's at Firefly now. That's right. Yeah, Jim got hired on Firefly's board of directors. The SRB thrust curve, it goes down during max Q, and then it goes back up after max Q when the engines throttle up, and then it tails off in thrust. Okay, so Rocket Guy, let's, I think double 2 of these things. So 4 of these boosters is getting me what I want. Those numbers are right in line with the liquids. We just need to figure out the tail off thrust over time. So we're gonna have to go back here. I'm gonna have to launch a shuttle again, see if I can look at it. We gotta look at the thing, see if we can get it right. Would it make sense to use one cal controller to throttle the SRBs, but also the SSMEs for reliable throttling? I don't know. I haven't seen that. I'm not seeing that far down the road, dude. I have no idea. Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. You're thinking way too far ahead of where I'm at right now. What are you up to in KSP? Laws, you're going to have to watch the beginning of the VOD. I went over a lot of stuff. Yeah, you're going to have to watch the beginning of the VOD. I don't want to sit here and explain all of it right now, dude. It's like an hour worth of explanation. I'm sorry, man. Usually I wouldn't mind just jumping in. You know me. I've been wondering, what do all those painted lines on the VAB floor mean? Oh, these painted lines here? Those are lines to look cool. In the real VAB, it's just areas where you would stage boosters. It's areas where boosters get lifted. It shows the hoisting areas in the real one. Hey, Envy. What's going on? All right. Shuttle SRM versus the Ares 5 segment. Man, that thing, Rocket Guy, that thing really gets out of the hole quick, doesn't it? Dude, I don't even think my engine tail-off timings on my CTS-NG are right. I don't think they're correct. I mean, I'm looking at these numbers. I'm like, this thing honks. Dude, this thing's like dragster fast out of the gate, man. There's one Centaur. It would have been a great, dude, it would have been a great launch vehicle. A great science vehicle for NASA. Really good. This thing would have been able to do anything. Ares 1 is an amazing vehicle. Because you could just put a Delta IV fairing up there. You just put a Delta IV fairing up there, and you could use an Atlas V style forward load reactor to put a Centaur up there too. I'm telling you, Ares 1 is Chad tier. This thing could be cheaper than Falcon 9. Absolutely. If you had employed it in mass like Falcon 9, it could be cheaper. Reuse segments? Absolutely. I personally think Ares 1 is a fantastic vehicle, and yeah, it should have gotten made. The fact that it wasn't is really, well, we missed an opportunity there. But that logic could be applied to Venture Star. Could be applied to the Space Shuttle. Could be applied to Constellation in general. Could be applied to DCX. Could be applied to SDI back in the day. Could be applied to Apollo Applications Program. It's just missed opportunities. I just think it's ugly. All right. Great. Rocket science don't care about your looks. You know what I'm saying? But shouldn't you scale the graph implementing it in KSP? Yeah. Burn time in seconds is there too. So these things get to about 120 seconds. It's a little over 2 minutes before tail off. So 130 seconds, which is 2 minutes 10 seconds, right? We scaled that to KSP time. We get a graph here that's very similar to the real one, right? If we just divide by 4. So that means our graph is going to be this condensed to over here. Literally just squish. Clayton, thanks, man. Literally just squish the graph. Save this for yourself. Get a Coke on me. I wish I could send more. Thanks, man. Yeah, squish the graph. Pretty much. Gets us exactly what we want. Swell, sorry off topic. I watched a VOD where you talk about KSP2, and by the end you started remembering how many users in chat showed up for the first time. Remember mine. Squall, I don't. No sé. Lo siento, amigo. No sé. Muchas personas. I'm Squall, don't get me wrong. It's Monday for me. Lunes. Para mí. Mi cabeza is no bueno aquí. Ahora. I don't remember what your old username is, dude. No, it's Tuesday. Squall Mason doesn't understand Spanish. That's funny. You know I don't speak Spanish. Now the question, do you stagger the separation like Delta and Atlas, or do you have them all staged at the same time?
Discovery, go at throttle up.
It was always the same nickname. Oh yeah, I was gonna say, dude, I don't remember you changing your name. Hey Chris, what's up, man? Sí. 26 meses. Gracias. 26 meses para suscripción. Gracias, amigo. I don't know, Rocky Guy. Slow down. Oh! Oh, yeah. Okay. To be or not to be? That is the question. Whether it is nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune. Yay, Billy! He's good. He's good. It's almost time again. I choose business ethics. Nice. Awesome. Banana time. Okay, so let's get this teed up, dude. I wonder what scaling this curve is going to do. I'm kind of interested. We're looking at SRB burnout in just over 30 seconds. Let's scale to quarter, like you said. Yeah, that may have been wrong now that I'm thinking about it. Thrust to a quarter, not time. Yeah, I did say time, Rocket Guy. That's my fault. I'm trying to... Monday morning for me, guys. I'm trying to figure this out. The numbers in my head are not... My brain is not braining today. Go figure. I'm trying to think, like, you know, if I'm going to go into build, I just want to jump in and build it, you know? Like... Okay, so the Mondays, yeah. Okay. All right. So, Rocket, let's I got to go back to the full stack prototype here. How much fuel am I carrying for my shuttle motors? So, these two tanks and those two tanks are carrying enough fuel. And then that has fuel in it, and that has some fuel in it. Oh. So we have 2880 times 4. $11,500 plus 7040. 18,560 plus 1760. So we have 20,000 units of liquid fuel. Maybe get Collins NG perfect and then redesign the solids. There's that just unnecessary steps. Well, this is using a completely different burn time. It's using a completely different burn time, dude. Like, this thing works. Its ascent works great, but it's not. The ascent isn't exactly like the shuttle. These solids are actually too powerful, believe it or not. You counted one as fuel, one as oxidizer. Oh. Minus 1440. It's 20,000 right on the dot. Interesting. How's your Monday? It's good, Clayton. Thank you for the tip, man. Okay. What kind of tanks carry 20,000 on the dot? That's 28. Are their SRBs too powerful, or are they carrying too much prop? My liftoff thrust is correlative to what I would need for these. So, Rocket, maybe we'll go re-engineer some things, dude. Maybe I'll just take the... guys, the more and more I think about it, the more and more I should just take the NG orbiter and give it a better stack. That's what I think I want to do. So, actually, Rocket Guy, what we would need to do... Oh, man. Okay. All right. Okay. Hang on a second here. What we would need to do with this thing... So, what's the datum, right? What are we redesigning? We're redesigning the SRBs, and then because we redesign the SRBs and they're no longer using liquid, we have to redesign the external tank, right? Because we're redesigning both of those components, dude. I think our datum is shuttle mass, right? That's what we'd want to use. We'd want to correlate it. We can correlate it to scale of the shuttle. We know that this is 61% of the actual shuttle's size. So we could figure out core sizes from there. But we also need to correlate mass, don't we? Will you strip out the integration part as well? No, I won't. Integration makes the strongest mechanism. All right, what I'm going to do now. What I'm going to do now is, hang on, I'm going to go in here and delete some graph files that we don't need that anymore. Not trying to clog up the engineering mode save. Geez, those solids are really something. Using that numbers for the graph, the total thrust of the SRBs alone were 83.2% of total sea level thrust at liftoff. Nuts. All caught up. That sounds awesome. Honoring the best launchers. That's the idea. Okay. How is this thing gonna work with 4 of these things, man? It turns out Neil Armstrong was in Pulkovo Observatory in St. Petersburg in 1970. Oh yeah, dude, they went on a tour through the Soviet Union. Yep. Neil, Buzz, and Mike. Yeah, they went through the Soviet Union. They toured around the Soviet Union too. That's cool. You see Neil's sunglasses there, man? It looks awesome. Nice, T-Man. Anyway. What I'm about to do is going to hurt a little bit. It's going to hurt a little bit. Oh, God. Oh. All right. Take my dud payload. Get rid of that. We don't need that. And I'm going to take off all the parts from the old integration parts of this payload bay. We'll redesign that later. I have backups of this, so I'm not deleting everything. Just, yeah. Oh, take it. I don't need it. Very nice. You like that? Ugh. So what does that leave us with mass? It's 55 tons. 55 tons unladen. What's the airspeed velocity of an unladen shuttle? I don't know that. Mach 20. Touché. African and European shuttle. Alright, I'm going to get rid of that system for now. And then my attachment system will just close that. Alright, so now we got to redesign our ET. Now we got to redesign. The mic broke. Of course it did. Hey Nazlik, I'm doing all right, man. I don't know how I put all that together. Hierarchy might hate me. The noise gate is deleting all the funny things you say. Would same ET not work? Essentially need less fuel, but the same width. Yeah, but you got to get that fuel balance thing figured out. Ugh, my brain is not ready to do this today. Might be a dumb question, but do the lines on the floor in the hangar mean anything? Nope, they just look cool. In real life, you know, these squares represent jacking points for the airplane. But yeah, they have no rhyme or reason in the SPH, dude. There's not really a hierarchy issue so much, Aqualex, that I just don't know how I put this together. I could probably develop a better way to put it all together, but... No. Why'd you look at me when you said that? Oh, you know why. Oh, dude, look at that. Did we nail that or what? Man. So check this out. Look, with this shuttle, look, the center of lift, no matter what you do, it's always, its correlation to the center of mass is always the same. Cool. That'll be another 3 months work. Passing? No, I don't think so. I could probably build this. I could probably rebuild it quicker. I have the design memorized in my head. I know where the parts go. I just don't really know how they're attached. I love it. I love this orbiter. It's so legit. The candy is there. I want to rebuild it. The candy is there. I'm like, Jay, just rebuild the shuttle. Yeah, honestly, it's not gonna take. That would not. And like, guys, don't get me wrong. No bull crap here. I'm not saying that just to string you on like I usually do or like I did in the past. Like, oh, it's not gonna take too long. This actually won't take me too long. Seriously, I know how all this stuff goes together. These are build techniques that we know. We know pretty damn well, actually. Our triangle thermal protection system, we know that that works. I can build that really easily from all the building that we did with the damn SSTO. Remember that? In and out, Jonas. Just a 20-minute adventure. Just in and out. You just got a 20-minute adventure. Yeah, there's just a lot of things on this that we could do better. You'd say go for it? Okay, if we do, I'm not going to start it today. Because just brain fog right now. Like, guys, I'm having trouble, like, shifting gears here. 20-minute design change, in and out, easy. 40 hours later. Oh God, why? Are we rebuilding it just to rebuild it, though? That's what I'm thinking about, Rocket Guy. Well, there's some stuff hierarchically that I don't know how it goes together, right? That's my big thing. That's where I'm hung up on, right? So I'm thinking about it. Okay, I don't know how it goes together. Is that going to affect us launching things into space? Probably not. I've launched this thing many times into space. But what I haven't done is dock it to a space station. I've never docked it to a space station. I've never made any missions with this. I built CTSNG to be the fully reusable shuttle. And then we built it and they changed the docking port hierarchy. So that's an unknown, dude. We could push forward with testing, but if we find something wrong with this, it may screw us. And if we find something that's significant enough that we have to change with the shuttle, then the stack that we engineer now for this orbiter right here might have to re-engineer the whole damn thing. So I'm kind of weighing in my head, like, I don't know, should we do it? Should we not do it? I'd say you can't build it better. You could potentially optimize the hierarchy. Yeah, passing, but optimizing the hierarchy right now would mean taking the whole thing apart. And if I'm taking the whole thing apart, I might as well fix a bunch of things while I'm there. But, dude, I know this game. I've played this game before. That's going to take a while. Might not even be worth it. But I'll tell you, I can't make a better shuttle than this. But I can take this design and optimize it. That's what I mean when I say if I rebuild it, it's just going to be ground up so I know the hierarchy works correctly. I don't want some heaviest part auto strut in there that I set at the time working, you know, like holding the thing together. I want to optimize it knowing what we know about like same vessel collision and where you run struts and like making sure that struts aren't the wrong part of a hierarchy and we don't have like heaviest part stuff holding this thing together. So there are risks, but they can be mitigated with incremental changes. Weighing in your head. Ah, yes, the constant conundrum that is the systems engineering process. Yep. It's a test to cheat a station and shuttle. Nah, that's not going to solve my problems, Aqualex, because the station that we cheat into orbit is not going to be the station that we use in our new mission mode save. It's not. Hierarchy's different. See what I'm talking about? So unless you want me to sit here and design a whole station that we want to build, that'll... See what I mean? See? Man. I'm just trying to figure out where we want this to go. The station built in orbit, that's right, the station built in orbit will have a completely different hierarchy than the one we just put up into space, you know? That's what I'm worried about. Let's consider this. How would I have done this in 2014? Well, you know, I have the answer. How would I have done this with the old school Kerbal save? You know how I would have done this? I have a photo album that says how I would have done this. Believe it or not, the first Collins that I ever designed, I designed it off stream. Here's my original album from when I laid the first pieces for what would become Collins, right here. There's the payload bay. That's how I would have done it. I would have scratch built it. Ah, there you go, Kyron. Yeah. See? Look. See? Pre-Mark III shuttle. Yeah, it's not going to foul up with a small one passing. It's the bigger stations that I intend to make with shuttle, like Crippen. We're only going to see what that's like after launching the shuttle a lot, dude. That's the problem. See what I'm getting at? It's an unknown unknown. There's no way to predict it. How did the payload bay open? Landing gear? So the doors physically undocked from the vessel hip, and then landing gear opening up, pushed them into the open position. And when they were in the open position, they docked back to the shuttle. What version is this? 0.25? Maybe? This is pre-0.90. Yeah. Yeah, see? That's how I did this back in the day. I would have scratch built it. I would have scratch built it based off of what I know. Yeah, good to see that thing again. Look at that thing. I made payload bay doors before payload bay doors were in the game, dude. It's a good time. Man, that was tough. That was so hard to do. It took me hours to get that right. Go old school. Let's do it. That's how 2014 EJ would have done it. I would have brute forced my way. That was before Gizmo tools. That's how I know it's not 0.90. Yeah, before Gizmo. But I would have used shuttles in the past as reference. I know that's what 2014 EJ would have done. Yeah, there you go, Supervod, right? Okay. Okay. Is there really not a way to build and test a rig that can be made to quickly present you with all the expected hierarchies to test your shuttle with? Well, that's what an unknown unknown is, dude. That's what an unknown unknown is. Right? Like, that's what it is. So I'm sure we could do some, but are we gonna mitigate the risk? But dude, I don't even know if that's the docking system that I want to use. This is an old school docking system. You know, in fact, this is junk. We should probably get rid of it. I don't even know if that's what I want. I was a freshman in college at the time. Crazy to see it again. Feels like such a long time ago. Right, Dwarshak? Yeah. So, like, guys, today what I really wanted is it to be my, like, weighing options day, you know? Oh, yes, Guy. Ah, down on the wall. Oh, yes. That's right, Novus. Remember this cabinet where you lived? What? Oh, you like? Yeah, JW, right? Yeah, that's right. The old Mark III parts were junk. You built the shape of that thing from scratch back in the day? That's right, Sile. Yep. Yeah, dude. There was no Mark III parts. I built it out of panels and wings. Keep in mind, the arrow system in Kerbal was very different at the time. They redid the arrow multiple times through 1.01, 1.02, 1.03, 1.04, 1.05. I suggest making a hierarchy test rig to make all the hierarchy configs to build a station. Yeah, Aqualex, I don't know how I can convey this any clearer. I'm obviously not making myself clear. Dude, there's no way. There's no way. I can't simulate a hierarchy for a station that I haven't built yet. Like, you know what I mean? There's no, I can't do it. Like, that, dude, even if I built up a station right now, and even if I use that station, and then we zip the station up into orbit, that, we're going to take all that time to engineer out a station? And zip the thing up into orbit just to test the shuttle? Why don't we just build the shuttle? I honestly think that would take less time. And then during the streams where we're actually, you know, down the road, we can actually build the shuttle for the station, just like what they intended to do in real life. I'm trying to tell you that there's no way to predict an unknown. You don't know. And trying to predict an unknown is a futile endeavor. You're just going to be sit there bogged down in analysis the entire time. No analysis is going to be good enough. Like, I don't know how to make this any clearer. That's just something you have to deal with. Old school. I'm going back to the way I played Kerbal 2014, 2015. I think that's a good way to send off Kerbal. So we're getting back into like vehicle design and stuff, not necessarily pads or whatever. Like, dude, there's no better way to do this. Like, anyway. How 2014 EJ would have built this would have been to learn more about the space shuttle. I would have built it from scratch so I could learn something new. That's how I would have done it. Yeah. But then again, I learned a bunch of things to get this thing to fly. I don't care, Pace. I liked Star Wars growing up. I got into Star Trek at an older age, but I still enjoy both of them. Does this mean that the whole underside could be panels now? If we want the part count to be absolutely atrocious. Platinum? Yeah, sure. Why not? I mean, could make it. I could make it out of tries. It wouldn't fly right. It wouldn't fly right, that's for sure. We can make it out of tries, though. Have you watched Strange New Worlds at all? Nah. I'm going to scratch build it. I'm going to scratch build it. I just decided. We're going to scratch build it. It's going to be this same design. I'm literally going to try to make make the same thing, but scratch build it. And I mean, Platinum, I don't know if looking at a triangulated underside is a good idea, but with the bigger triangles, dude, we could do it like the SSTO, where we use the bigger triangles in spots to take up more surface area. It might, if the part count is reasonable, then I'll think about it. But you gotta remember, this thing is 370 parts right now with a partially triangle tessellated system. It's partial, right? It's a partially triangulated system, and it's 370 parts. That's a lot for a space shuttle. And I also have my active passive latching system, light systems, hoist systems. But see, the hoisting systems might not be something that we need in the future. You know what I mean? We don't need that. We could use it if we wanted to down the road, but dude, here's the thing. I don't even know if this hoist system will work. The reason why I don't know if it'll work, what is that port attached to? It's attached to the payload bay? Payload bay is how many degrees of separation from the root part off of the main hierarchical rig. I don't know if that'll work. That might not work. What if it snaps first primary docking port to the other side? See what I mean? I don't know if any of this is going to work. Even if I did want to use it for like building a pad or whatever. Because they changed the docking port hierarchy. This shuttle was designed for a docking system in Kerbal that doesn't work anymore. And that's what I'm talking about, guys. That's the thing that I'm trying to get across. This was designed for a system, a docking logic that does not exist in the game anymore. I don't know how well it's going to work. I have no idea. See what I'm talking about? But do you know how much wood a woodchuck can chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? Yes, I play Timberborn, actually, at Borove. Yes, I do know that. How much? I don't know. Go play Timberborn. You'll find out. I'm not telling you. I'm not just giving you all the secrets, man. Not just giving you all the secrets. This ain't Scooby-Doo. But how do I shot web? Are beavers woodchucks? Close enough. Close enough. We don't judge here, Pace. You're racist. Yeah? No, maybe? You son of a gun. I'm a... BC Syst? Yeah. Guys, yeah. I'm gonna redo it. We'll redo the stack. It's the right move. It's the right thing to do. If we're gonna do this old school, if we're truly gonna do this old school, 2014 EJ would still rebuild this. I know that. Because I'm me. 2014, in my mind, 2014 was like 2 or 3 years ago. Alright? Not 8. 8. Oh, God. Alright. That's our project for this week. We're going to rebuild this. Old school means 4 months. Shh. CKAN... Somebody clip that this week. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do it. All right. Okay. What's today? Tuesday? So next Tuesday is our limit here? Fine. Schedule's cleared. It's Kerbal until next Tuesday. You don't know what you just did. You don't know what you don't know what you just did. Fine. Let's figure out the rest of the architecture that we want.
Discovery, go at throttle up.
All right. Okay. 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 All right. 2014 EJ would have basically stayed up until this was finished. You drive a hard bargain, but Kerbal it is. Ford won't be making any more Fiestas. Okay, if we're gonna do this, I do need to kind of mentally prepare for the week. I do need to kind of mentally prepare for the week if we want to do this. We want to do this. Dude, we'll go old school and burn the candle at both ends to get it flying. I'll do that. I just got back. Do what? Hokey, I don't... Okay, here's the short story. This shuttle is amazing. It's the best I can do for a shuttle. I've said that multiple times. I can do better. The reason why I can do better is because after sitting here and looking at this thing for a little while, I realized that this thing is still made for the old school docking logic, pre-robotics. I don't want to go and use this, and who knows what hierarchical surprises are in this thing. Bad idea. So, I'm going to rebuild it. We'll rebuild it. I'll rebuild it, taking into account new docking port hierarchy. I think I can do it in a week. And I'm not talking like, oh, it'll take about a week and then take 6 months. No. I'm talking, let's grind out 12-hour Kerbal streams and build this thing. You know what I'm saying? So, chat said, clip him when he said do it in a week. All right, so here's the deal. Nothing else. Kerbal is till next Tuesday. Kerbal and racing, and that's it. We'll go back. You really want to go back to how we did it in 2014? That's how we did it in 2014. That was pre-Space News. We just talked about what was going on in the space program while we played. 4-month, 12-hour streams. PY, how do you say shut your freaking mouth in your language? Please. Inquiring minds. Apply this? Niet. It's not ready. How do you say that? Zaveli balo. Shh. Shut your mouth. Zip it! I probably didn't say it right. I probably didn't say it right. I still can't say it right, homie. All right. Okay. Perfect. Oh. Spasiba. All right. On that space station unknown,
Discovery,
that's
go at
something
throttle up.
risk assessment is for basically, it's an evaluation and risk item that determines what can go wrong, how likely it is to occur, and what the consequences are, and what the uncertainties associated with the likelihood and consequences are, what the mitigation plans are. Notice if I build this thing to work with the new docking port logic hierarchy, where, okay, this is I know it's not based off of numbers, right? An analysis based off of numbers is an opinion, but I'd like to think that my opinion when it comes to hierarchical Kerbal mechanisms in systems engineering implemented in this game means something. What that basically means is that we are running the risk of blowing up a station for literally no reason. That, dude, I don't know what's going to happen. I'd say 50-50 chance. It's a 50% chance that it might be nothing. But if I can minimize that risk, don't you think we should do it? Especially if we're going to sit here and rebuild it anyway? Like, Is that the tapping noise? I hear it. Yeah. You give it a score likelihood and a score for severity and plot it on a matrix. It's something with the air conditioner. The air conditioner is making a tappy, 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 tapperoo noise. All right, let me see notice. So, the likelihood and consequence. So, the likelihood of it happening, I don't know. I'd say the likelihood is of a hierarchy problem, especially since that thing is using old docking port hierarchy, is actually pretty high. Pretty high. I don't know how I put it together. I'd have to go picking it apart. But if I'm picking it apart, might as well rebuild it. Already picking it apart. So I'd say the likelihood is probably of medium risk, right? But the consequence is that a space station blows up or I lose a shuttle. I ain't losing shuttles. And I'm not losing a station either. So I would say highest risk for consequence. So we're over here somewhere. Probably high risk, highest risk. Consequences of a hierarchy problem means your station rips itself to pieces on orbit. I ain't doing that. I'll remind you to get everybody on station to the VBAC points. Yeah, but see, don't get me wrong. A hierarchy problem could, like, I'm not going to lie to you guys. Hierarchy problems could still happen. I might miss something. They could still happen. But if I rebuild the shuttle and scratch build the thing, knowing what I know about hierarchies down, it goes from a highest high risk right here down to a medium low risk. And that's okay. I would say it's definitely over here. I just don't want to take the risk. But also at the same time, I don't know, man. Rebuilding this would be tough. No, guys, when I say rebuild this, I'm really not talking about a scratch build. The new one will look like this, but the hierarchy will be optimized for the new docking thing. That's why I say I could probably get it done in a week. But I know there are weak points in the hierarchy here. My ohms pods are connected via one panel. See that? That one structural panel is radially attached to my the aft section here, and that's what's holding my ohms pods together. And also, I have a crew tank up here to simulate the mass of the actual crew tank on the shuttle. That's where the batteries are. That's where, you know, there's a cow controller for the step throttle controller. Like, I have this simulating the mass, and it's actually inside of a fairing to simulate the crew tank up at the front of the space shuttle. I don't know how I put that together. I don't even know what's on the hierarchy. I don't know where it is. I know that the Mark III cockpit is the root part. What's this docking port attached to? I don't know. How is this all attached together? Like, I don't remember how I did any of it. How many Kerbals fit in a Mark III cockpit? 4? See what I mean? There's potential hierarchical flags all over this thing. They're everywhere. They're all over the place. I don't think it's a good idea. How is this nose cone attached? What is it attached to? Is it attached to this? I don't know. That's the root part. It's going to highlight everything. Is it attached to that payload fairing? This is what I mean, dude. I mean, if we're going to go take all that stuff apart, we might just remake it, right? Like, is this hoist mechanism going to work anymore? Probably not. We know that that's not going to work. So we could just take it off, but, you know, at least save the tiles. I can remake this in a couple hours, dude. Not worried about that. This is a really really nice build method that I'm very familiar with. Confident in my abilities there. Well, if I'm gonna burn the candle at both ends, guys, I'm gonna need a day to prepare. I'm gonna need a day to prepare. I'm dead serious. I gotta change my sleep schedule. We gotta do a bunch of things. All right. Has anyone touched a beta at KSP 2? Is it still locked away by the developers? No, I haven't touched it, Jacobs. Can you take a shuttle on a grand tour, or are we stuck in low Earth orbit? With the shuttle, it makes no sense to take it beyond low Earth orbit, Dukas, because you're bringing wings with you. So, guys, here's what I'm thinking. Here's what I'm thinking. If I'm going to do this, we're going to need 12-hour streams. Wednesday, Thursday, 12-hour stream, and then racing on top of that. And then Friday, we got, you know, like there's a lot of work to do to get this done in a week. I'm thinking take the rest of the night off and just, I got to think about what I want to do and exactly how I want to implement this. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that's a good idea. You guys want a challenge? We got a challenge on our hands. Would 2 weeks be a little less stressful while still challenging? Don't want you to get sick again. I think a week is realistic, Tape. Guys, and I'm not talking sitting here and explaining stuff. I'm going to rebuild it. I'll explain it to you after. But Raptor Relight. What? What about Raptor Relay? What are you talking about? You want to see Kerbals fly everywhere. Don't we all? Yeah, passing. I'm gonna do it. NSF new video of Rapid Raptor Relight. Oh, cool. They did it again? That's awesome. Alright. So. Here's what we're gonna do. I want a week. I want a week to build this. A week to rebuild that. Here's what happens. If I don't get this done in a week, or in a week I'm nowhere close, like say maybe take another day, right? You guys will kind of be the judge of that, right? Okay, Jacobs. If we're nowhere near it, if progress is completely not even close, like I'm not even 50% done rebuilding this thing, I'll say screw it, we'll take the risk and we'll go with this. Okay? But if we get it done how I think it's going to get done, taking into account the pace that I work at on stream, just the shuttle we'll work on the stack next week. If I'm not making reasonable progress on getting this orbiter done in a week, dude, I'm just using the NG stack. Is that fair? I don't want to get bogged down, dude. Can't get bogged down. We only have a finite amount of time to play Kerbal. Understand? So, I want shuttle, SLS or Ares 5, Ares 1, Jetstone 4, and MLV. And if I can't get this done on a reasonable schedule, I'm just going to use the NG version. MLV is my own first stage reusable, partially reusable launch vehicle. Would there ever be a reason to send the shuttle out of a KO? No, not for me. Not with the architecture that I have planned. All right, dudes. That's what I'm going to do. Give me the rest of the day. Give me the rest of the day to dial this in. We will do this.